This is the XNC Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, XNC Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox Newscast. Hey, welcome everybody. This is episode 193. This is the XNC Podcast, also known as the Xbox Newscast, but soon to be called the Extreme Gaming Newscast or the Extravagant or Ecstasy Podcast.
Extreme.
What should we call it,
Remember
Meg?
those commercials from like the 90s, like the 90s and the early aughts were like Mountain Dew? Extreme on a level of 1 to 10, 10 being the most extreme, it's a 7.5.
Do you remember all the products back then? Like at the grocery store had an X minus whatever, like extreme, extraneous, extension.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
those were the days.
No, those were the days, man. And then, of course, they also had enough caffeine in some of those products to, like, literally murder a gigantic Clydesdale horse. But anyways, we were buying them by the dozen and drinking them up and having a great time doing it. And then some of us were even adding vodka to it, which is probably even deadlier. I don't know how some of us are still standing, but either way we are. Colteastwood, how are you doing, my friend? And how was your trip? Tell me all about it.
I'm doing great. Just before we hit the button go, I was like, oh, man, I'm kind of tired, but a lot of traveling. I spent the past 4 days going to Chicago. My wife and I went to visit That Blue Number, who's in the chat. If you know That Blue Number on Renegade Realm, on Infinite Podcast, and she's been on other podcasts and here as well. They're like best friends.
Yes, she has.
So for my wife's birthday, she's like, I want to go see her. So I bought tickets and we went. And I knew that there'd be a chance that I could probably see Rand. But what I really didn't want to know, for those of you who know Randall Thor, who won't go on camera, like he doesn't really like to go places, and he doesn't go places often. And as many gamers do, you know, they're kind of homebodies, but Rand's like on the extreme end of that. So I said, hey, I'd like to come see you. Ideally, it'd be cool if we could go somewhere, but I would at least like to maybe come down and see you in your gaming podcast space. And maybe say hi.
Yes.
Or maybe say hi.
I didn't say that. Yep.
Or maybe say hi while he was getting ready to go live on Xbox 2 or something. But I couldn't believe it. He goes, Colt, I'll just come over and hang out with you guys, for 5-10 minutes. And I'm like, okay. So we got there basically Friday, and on Saturday we had planned to meet up with Rand, and I didn't want to jinx it, Mag. I didn't want to spook him. I didn't want to scare him off. I didn't want to make him nervous, because Rand is the timid beast in the wild. You see him up in the buffalo grass.
He's not timid. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Don't trust him. He's a monster. He's a serial killer. He's a deviant. I'm telling you right now, he is literally Hannibal Lecter. People just don't know it. I feel, you know what I feel like? I feel like Dokes from Dexter. I'm the only one who could see that Dexter's a serial killer, and no, everybody else is like, Dokes, you're crazy. It's Dexter. He's so nice. And I'm like, he's a serial killer. God damn it. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you right now, that's Randall Thor, ladies and gentlemen. That's Randall Thor.
I mean, he is a beast. Yes. He is a beast. But
he is a beast.
I really didn't want to make him nervous.
He's a tall boy, too.
Yeah. I mean, he's always told me he's 6'2", but I'm only 5'9", so that's a pretty big difference. And I didn't want him to go I don't know if I'm going to, and then I'd have to show up last minute before we head to the airport. But he was like, I'll just get ready and then I'll take an Uber or drive over. And I'm like, okay. And I got a phone. I'm like, he's really going to come. He's coming over. So, Rand's awesome, and he's on a different diet. Him and I are kind of on the same diet where we try to eat a lot of chicken and steak and vegetables, pretty much kind of keep it around to that. And he's doing really, really stringent with that. So Holly was going to buy a Chicago style pizza. I've never had one, not even from some crap place in Washington. I've just never had a Chicago style pizza. So I'm like, I got to do this and break the diet. And Rand's like, I'm not going to touch pizza or else I'll go off the deep end. So I cooked him a steak and steamed some broccoli, and he loved it, thanks to Holly who provided the steak, because I didn't go to the grocery store in Chicago. But he came over. But look at the point that he came over was, sorry, I'm rambling. I was super excited.
No. I want to hear all about this. The chat wants to hear about this too.
he
carry on.
But before I get to the Rand thing, the night before, Holly, my wife, and I went to the Second City show in Chicago, which is famous for improv. A lot of those people went on to TV and In Living Color and SNL. And we went and watched their like 2-hour improv show, laughed our faces off. And then we went to a bar just after that. I was exhausted. We were on 5 hours sleep. And we stayed out all day and all night. And then we went to a bar to do karaoke and we met Infinite Umbra there. And those who know Infinite Umbra.
No way.
Yeah. Those who know him, like he loves to sing at party chat. So he's like, dude, we got to sing. So he sang a Ray Charles song and then I did like this Hall & Oates crap. And then we both sang.
Not crap. Hall & Oates is awesome. They're a national treasure.
I mean, I love them. I did Maneater and it was fun. Not a lot of people in the bar, but then Infinite Umbra and
Maneater, eh? Sounds like risk it for the biscuit on a Saturday night. Carry on.
So yeah.
Sorry, I'm full of beans tonight, baby. I am full of beans tonight. I'm ready to go.
I mean, I'm old now. Like I'm close to 50, and like singing "Don't Stop Believing" properly is quite a feat. And last time I tried it at karaoke, like a couple weeks ago, I don't do this often, but my daughter wanted to go out and my voice cracked. But with Umbra, like everything was working, and we both sang "Don't Stop Believing," and we traded off parts of the song, and it was great. We had a great time. But then the next day was Rand, and when Rand pulled up, I was like, okay, he texted and said, I'm here. And I look out and his car's out there on the corner and I'm walking out. I'm like nervous. I'm like a prom date. Like, does my corsage look good? You know, because I've been talking to Rand every day on the phone for the most part for 6 years. And, talking about YouTube, helping him with his thumbnails, the channels, helping me with everything, getting the inside scoop on stuff. And I walk out there and here's this tall guy with hair down to here, hat with, for the people that saw the picture, a beard out to here. And when I've met people like Meg, you're the only one. You are the one that I have to meet in person. You're the only one left.
I am the last of the Mohicans. Yes, we will do that at some point. Absolutely. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because when I first met Noof Nukem, we had done shows for years already, right? And we had finally met in person because he has these twice a year. He has these conventions at Niagara Falls. And he has to fly from Winnipeg to Niagara Falls. And I live like not even 2 hours from Niagara Falls, depending on how fast I drive. So I usually go over there with my wife for like 2 days. We spend 2 days in Niagara Falls. And then Noof and I and my wife, we hang out and party for a couple days, right? So we do that and whatever. But the first time I met him, I saw like he messaged me. I'm like, hey, I'm coming down the elevator, whatever. So I was waiting outside the hotel for him. And every guy that came out, I'm like, is that him? I'm like saying to my wife, I'm like, is that him? Is that him? Is that him? I'm like,
you're like spotting the gamer body type.
You don't know. Well, it's so. Yeah,
I mean,
right?
you don't know what he looks. You know what he looks
like,
right? But you knew what he looked like before.
A face. Yeah. You see a face, but you don't see everything else. The walking mannerisms, like you know what I mean? Like the personality, like the people are different. It's like when you see this face right now, this is not all me. There's more to me than that, right? So
yeah, like Mag in real life, he walks like this.
Right away. Yeah.
So the day I meet you at the airport or whatever, you're going to be like,
I walk like the bushwhackers from the 1980s WWF. Remember that? They used to go like this. That's how I walked down the sidewalk with my kids, scare the crap out of everybody. No, in all seriousness, I'm like staring. And then finally, I'm like, my wife's like, I think that's him. And then he came out and like, I swear he had to be within 2 feet of me, bro. I looked at him with squinty eyes and I go, Noof? and that was it, right? So it's kind of funny. I get what you're saying. Like you're not 100%, and you're like, oh, there he is, because you're so used to talking to them and seeing a face on a screen. Yeah. To see them in real life is a whole different thing. It's like when I met William Shatner a couple years ago. Like same deal, man. Like William Shatner. I've been seeing him on the screen as Captain Kirk for decades and decades and decades. And all of a sudden, I met him in real life, and I'm like, I had to stare at him for about 10 seconds to see if it was actually him, right? And then I'm like, oh, that's Bill. That's Bill. Yeah, right. Should have poked his little belly.
Well, the problem with Rand, the problem with Rand is obviously he doesn't go on camera. He's never been on camera except for 9 years ago on the Xbox stage. People look different 10 years ago. But I mean, I know what Rand looks like because he's posted like 5 pictures on I think Rand's in the chat. Rand's posted like 5 pictures.
He's in the chat?
Yeah, he's posted like 5 pictures on Twitter, and so he doesn't like send me, hey, here's a selfie of me, Colt. Like when he posts something, it's, that's the only time I see it. So when I walked up to Rand and I gave him a big hug and it was like, oh, this is really real. And he came in the house, he started talking and I looked at his face and I told him this on the phone today. It was like a picture come to life because I only knew Rand
as a picture,
a frozen face. And he's talking and there's the voice I talk to every day for like an hour. And he was talking and I'm watching his mouth move and his face move. And I'm like, and it was like somebody it was like an AI took his photo and goes, hey, turn this into a video. But he was really there. And it was so great. That's
hilarious, man. It's good.
So he's like, I know Rand. He's like, I'll just hang out for like 20 minutes, 10 minutes. And I'm like, I'll probably stay around longer than that. And he stayed for like almost 5 hours. We kicked back, we talked, we were looking at the news, we checked out some YouTube stuff, we were talking about games, we were talking about controversies, talking about AC Shadows and our time playing and just all kinds of stuff. And it was great. It was really good. It's just surreal that at this point, I'm so fortunate that I've met so many people that on the internet over a connection that's amazing enough as it is. But I've been able to meet almost all of the people I consider friends. And I was talking around, I'm like, Mag is the only one left. And he's on the far side of the US. And I looked at my phone when I got there and I'm like, well, how close is Mag? 8-hour drive away.
No, I'm not far. Like, because I'm on the East Coast, right? So essentially where I am, like Toronto is basically the East Coast. We're right there with New York, Chicago, Boston, right? It's all right there.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia. It's all within 10 hours. Like of all those cities, basically. Well, maybe not 10, maybe like 12. But within all those cities, we can get, you know what I mean? I can get to any one of those 4 cities. So it's not that far. It's not that big of a deal. But it's just, it's the other thing is that for me, it's more difficult to meet a lot of the podcasters and a lot of the YouTubers out there because majority of them are American. Right. And there are very few Canadian ones. And as a result of very few Canadian, I mean, there are other Canadian ones, but those are ones that are outside of our circles. And as a result of that, I don't meet a lot of them. And I wouldn't unless, of course, I go down to LA for, the big shindig or whatever. This year can't happen. But next year most likely can happen. So we shall see. But either way, that's where I would be able to do something like that because then everybody's together. Right? Yeah. Everybody's in one spot. And then you're like, all right, we got all these guys here. Oh, here comes Jez. Here comes this guy. Here comes that guy. Here comes Hargeet. Here comes, you and whatever else. Right. So, and then maybe Risk It because Risk It and I talked about it behind the scenes. I mean, that's where I've been doing an elaborate planning of his assassination. So, I mean, when he says that he's coming in 2026, I got a long time to plan out this to make it look like an accident. But either way, we'll figure that unless, of course, he has kangaroo bodyguards that I didn't factor in.
And just a little bit of
but if he's got kangaroo bodyguards, they might punch me. That's a whole other business.
You got to watch out for that.
You got to watch out for them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was good. Rand and I, sat back and shared a couple of cold zero sugar A&W root beers, which are amazing. And
damn it, that's hot.
It was great. Just a really, really good time, and it's just surreal. Every time I travel, it's like I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so far from home. And there's Red Wolf in the chat. I really tried to get him to come out as well. But yeah, it was a really good trip, and there was a little bit of news going on. Thanks for everybody for being here and listening to Mag and I talk about meeting people across the internet connection. I didn't do a weekly games news because we were getting ready to leave and there just wasn't time. So things have been quiet, but a lot of news is broken. Mag and I are going to Rand in the chat. Colt cooked me a steak. I did the best I could. I just saw that now, yeah. But he liked it. So I guess that everything's going to be okay.
Outstanding.
He didn't
I'm
get
glad
sick.
You had a great time.
Yeah, it was great. And
he's not going to. He'll be fine.
And so, like I said, like Rand doesn't often go places a lot, since, he did the E3 thing on stage in front of millions of people. And then in the grand scheme of life, like a couple of years passed, he started his podcast and everything. And then COVID shut down and everybody kind of hunkered down. And then it just kind of avalanched from there. And he just came out and he just was like comfortable and chill. And like, I thought maybe he'd be like, oh, this is kind of weird. He was like so relaxed and I don't know. It was just great. It was really cool. And I'm glad that we got to do that. And of course we talked today, like we always do. So
I can tell you right now that if I got Rand out in LA, Within 6 hours, I'll have him standing on the stage at the strip club with a $20 bill in his mouth, having a big old party. We'll be eating steaks and root beers and going wild. I'm telling you, Rand, I am a very, very bad influence, and I am one hell of a great partier. I'll have him shed off any of that social, any kind of any kind of social anxiety. Nah, man, he'll be right up in the up front up there. We're gonna be partying it up and having a great old time. It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome, Rand.
Well,
on what is it, Sunset Boulevard? Rocking it, man.
I mean, I've got 3 months.
Full leather.
I've got 3 months to convince you to come to Showcase if Xbox
it's not
has
about
Fan
convincing me. I'm doing a renovation of my house, and I have to be there for it.
Well, I'm going to get it canceled.
It's a whole situation.
There's permitting backup. It's going through the city. It's going to be one big headache. And we need to get together and do some karaoke, bro.
Oh, dude, karaoke, absolutely, man. You know what you know what we should get? We should have another pandemic. And the reason why is we should have another pandemic so that you and I could do like a karaoke channel and then make millions of dollars because everybody will be stuck at home watching you and I doing daily karaoke with duets online.
The world would be so bad that's all they want to watch is us do karaoke. I don't believe it.
Us do karaoke. I'm totally okay with that. Yeah. I mean, whatever, man.
So
the end of the world is coming in 2027 anyway, by the way. There's your new scoop of the day.
Yeah, before next gen kicks off, of course, and before
next gen kicks off,
and before the 2-year delay of Grand Theft Auto 6. It's going to be wonderful. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I think I'm going to switch this over here. Yeah, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm still not done. I'm like 50 or 60 hours in. It's gotten a little bit tiring to be, well, not to be honest. I would say it anyway. It's gotten really tiring, and I just enjoyed Odyssey and Origins more. It's a good game. It's doing really well. It's successful. I just feel like it's missing too many of those like spicy, not spicy. It's missing some of those tasty, ooey gooey, chewy things that like Origins and Odyssey did, like side things that you want to do. Like I feel like AC Shadows side things are, going over and praying to a shrine real quick and picking up something off the ground. Where in Origins and Odyssey, they had like the battle Coliseum. Do you remember? I don't know if you played that.
Yeah,
it had the battle Coliseum, and it had a bunch of different like side things that were really cool to do. There aren't any hostiles out in the open. There's very, very few enemies that are like, hey, you over there. It's very, very rare in that game, and there's no hostile wildlife. Yeah.
Like how you're like wandering around, and all of a sudden some guy comes out and he goes, and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, here we go again. And then you have like that showdown, you know what I mean, that where you stare at each other for a minute. So there's none of that. So there's no like random bandits
there
like
are
hiding in the bush.
There are some random like entrenched bandits in like a little outcropping. Or there's like a Ronin that's like got the straw hat that's like, hey you, but it's not like you'd expect in his AC or you'd expect in Tsushima. Or like you'd expect in open world games. Like it just seems like the open world is just a little bit too tame. Look at me knocking down bamboo. It's good. It's gorgeous. It feels great. It's just missing a couple of things that I would expect. So it sits down below the recent Assassin's Creed games for me.
You're not a completionist. So I know that because I know you kind of like, even when
I'm
you
like
played
an
Avatar,
80. I'm an 80% ish person.
You're an 80%er.
Yeah, that's basically what I like. I get to about right there, and I'm like, I've had it.
Right, because I know that when we discussed Avatar, when I finished Avatar, I got the completion on that, and I remember you said, oh, I just got tired of it by the end, and then whatever, because then. Once you roll credits, if you're not committed to that completion, then I can imagine it gets redundant, right? Because then you're like, all right, I'm just doing the same thing over and over. And you're not wrong. Like even like Ghost of Tsushima, when I got the platinum twice in that game. One for the original, one for the director's cut that I got for the PS5, and then the one I played on PS4. But yeah, you're not wrong. Because then all of a sudden what ends up happening is once you roll credits, you got 20 hours of this.
Yeah.
And then like petting a fox. Right, because you got to follow a fox, and then he takes you to like a shrine, and you pet the fox, and you're like, all right, I only got 37 more of these.
And some of those you don't really want to do. Like after a while, the bamboo cut you don't want to do. You don't want to just go and look at the statue.
God, those bamboo cuts. Yeah.
But Tsushima's a better game. It's 3 points out of 100 better than Shadows according to reviewers. I still think Tsushima is a better game overall.
By the way, can I mention that when you asked me the Metacritic score, I was bang on, by the way?
Yeah,
someone
well,
else
I mean, I
pointed
don't
out, they're like, "Meg,
remember. You could make it up, but
81.
Yeah, you probably were. Yeah.
No, I said last week on the show, I said it'll be an 81. And then someone actually reached out to me and said, Meg, you were bang on. It was 81 on the nose. And I was like, oh, crap. I didn't even notice. And I
think
looked
I
and
said
I'm
83
like,
or
yep.
something. But yeah, you probably were. Yeah.
Oh, it was Dan Stevens. He hits me up with it. He actually danced. Shout out to Dan Stevens. Yeah, he took a picture and he's like, Meg, he goes, I believe you called this on the last show.
Oh,
and
nice.
it was exactly 81. So I was like, oh, that's fun. So yeah, that was cute.
I don't know how many of you in the
either
chat
way.
are playing it.
Yeah, I was going to ask how many people in the chat are playing this right now.
Yeah, let us know.
We're not going to do the show. We're literally going to count every one of your names one by one and then see if it says yes or no. So that's going to be the next 2 hours of us just counting your name.
Somebody said something about Yasuke. The juxtaposition of the two characters is so different. Yasuke is not an assassin. Like, he can't do anything. He can't properly climb. He can't climb everything. And he can't really just like pick people off and assassinate them properly. He doesn't do that. So the play styles are so totally different, which is good because you can, sometimes you're like, I haven't really played as Yasuke. And then you choose him, or I do. I choose Yasuke and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I changed it up because this is awesome. I'm beating the crap out of everything. And then I go back to now, I'm like, ooh, picking off people one by one is so amazing. And the fast, sharp sword's cool. So it keeps it interesting, but one of the complaints I have, and maybe it's kind of dumb for me to talk about all this at this point when people have had the game for 5 days or whatever, 4 days, is that it doesn't have a quest list, Mag. It just has a cluster, like a pedigree chart of all these people you're supposed to take down, and they're invisibly connected to different ones. So you do one icon on a circle, and then it connects over to another circle, and I just spend a lot of time looking at the map and looking at this pedigree chart going, what should I do? What am I supposed to do? I don't want to do this. I don't want to go talk to Susie. I want to go fight something, but talking to Susie is going to get you into a quest. People are complaining about a lot of things, which I want to get into in the show. Before I do that, I'm also playing Atomfall a little bit, and it is Fallout London. I haven't got, I'm only an hour in, but it's got some pretty cool mechanics that it's like Sniper Elite in first person, but you're not sniping. It's got all the things you'd expect from a Fallout game, like really pared down. So sort of like Avowed is like this pared down Skyrim thing. Atomfall is kind of like this Fallout experience. So I'll get into that on another show, but let me tell you what we're going to talk about today so you have an idea. Thank you, everybody. Hit the like button if you're here. I want to talk about, I'm going to give the floor over to Mag before we get into the Assassin's Creed Shadows and gaming stuff, because there's a lot that needs to be said. One of the big topics we're going to talk about today is the Xbox bringing Steam and Xbox having access to PlayStation and PlayStation trying to illegally block that and how that can or can't work. I've got all the information details I've gathered from the best experts that have been talking about it all the way up till this show went live. So we're going to talk about that as well. First, I want to talk about one of the news things that you broke on I Am the Mag show on your YouTube channel, is that God of War is not done. There's something coming out. Now, you talked about what you thought it was, but it's kind of changed. Jeff Grubb has changed a little bit. But tell us what you know about the next God of War, because PlayStation isn't done for 2025, apparently.
No. They got plenty. They've got plenty going on. The thing is with this God of War situation, it's starting to get a little convoluted, so I stopped speaking about it until I hear something more concrete. Now, originally what I've heard, there was the Greek collection coming that was supposed to be wasn't supposed to launch in March. We were supposed to hear about it in March. And that was around the same time as the Tony Hawk reveal, which was supposed to be around. Well, we knew about the Tony Hawk thing. It was the 3rd or the 4th of March? Whatever showed up in the Call of Duty. I think it was 3/4/25.
Yeah, I think so.
So we knew about that one. Yeah, so we knew that they were, revealing it that day. Somewhere that week or the week after, they were going to reveal this God of War Greek collection. And then, of course, I haven't heard anything since. I'm like, okay, well, nothing happened. We're basically reaching the end of March. Nothing happening here. I'm like, all right, let's find out what's going on. The news cycle sort of dried up in terms of the sources. So I'm like, all right, let's see what happened. Something very interesting happened in the last 48 hours. Now, all of a sudden, we heard about the Jeff Grubb thing, and then Jeff Grubb's talking about it on Blue Sky. And then
So
and then
cozy over here.
he talked about it. So, sorry, I was trying to do my Cesar Romero Joker from the 1960s.
Mine started
what
to turn
do you
into
say, Batman?
mine started to turn into
Sorry.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
I know that got wild for a minute there. Guys, that got wild. Holy crap. Anyways, he talked about it, and he discussed how there's actually going to be like a small sort of offshoot about maybe it'll be like a flashback sequence that you can play or whatever about like what happened to him in Greece and all that jazz. Not really 100% sure how that's going to work. It's going to be like a smaller experience. However, and here's where it gets interesting, and this is why I'm not talking about it, because I'm like, okay, when I hear conflicting stories from different people, I stop talking. And the reason why is because now I'm like, okay, there's something broken in the line here, and therefore I'm not going to report all that stuff, because then people are going to go, oh, Mag, you're a fraud, you're this and that.
You're wrong.
As opposed to or you're wrong. So I'd rather hit bullseyes than miss more often than not. Now I got word today from someone saying that, I will quote it right here.
Okay.
And this is someone
very
reliable.
Hold that. Mag is about to say something you got that today that is reliable. Don't forget that, because you need to establish, because you didn't say out loud for people who aren't watching or reading, what did Jeff Grubb say the possible God of War thing was this year?
It was going to be like what I was mentioning, like a sort of like a DLC thing on top of like that, the cosmetics they released for Ragnarok and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be some kind of like a side, like an offshoot or side, like a side
spin-off
story
based on God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, like a DLC of sorts.
Like, let me ask you real quick.
Let
me ask you, what if it was like a full Atreus story?
Oh, because, God, I'd be so pissed. I'd be so upset.
I think so. I think so too.
I didn't like playing as him.
Yeah.
I didn't like playing as him. I did not like his mechanics. I didn't like, like instead of using like the big axe and of course, the what is it called? Not Chains of Olympus. What were they called? The Chains of
Chains of Chaos.
Whatever they were.
Yeah.
Chains of Chaos. There we go. And then, instead of that, he had the stupid bow and arrow. So he was like beating up people with the bow. He's like, boink, 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 boink. And I'm like, okay. All right.
Now I'm a wolf.
Now I'm a wolf. Now I'm a bear. I'm a bee. I just didn't.
I'm a seashell.
Yeah, he was ridiculous. Don't be the seashells from
Maester
Demolition
Tech
Man.
goes, nobody wants to be the boy.
Nobody wants to be the boy. Now here's the interesting thing.
Especially
so there
in
was
today's
that.
culture.
There was jeez. We're just full of piss and vinegar tonight, eh?
I know.
Holy mackerel!
I mean, we've been through so much, Mag. We owe it to ourselves.
I know we have.
All right, go ahead.
We do.
So
I heard
you got
today,
something today. Go ahead. I derailed you.
Now, like I said, I did not report it. No one asked me to report it. I did not make a video about it. Nothing. I just heard today it says God of War Collection is being delayed. Not sure why yet. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't report it. I didn't make a video about it because I'm like, okay, once I hear conflicting reports, I stop talking, like I said. So you had Grubb saying his thing, and then I have one of my guys, very reliable source, by the way. That guy hits nothing but bullseyes.
Yeah, he does.
And he's telling me that. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, okay, let me pump the brakes here. Let's wait till we get some more solid information and find out. Because even he says, not sure why yet. So when he says something like that, I'm like, okay, I'll give him some time and see if he can dig up something and figure it out. But as it stands, we're either getting some kind of a DLC or we're getting an actual Greek collection in its entirety. I guess we're just going to have to wait and find out.
Yeah, and I want to do a disclaimer because, Meg has a video from like 2 months ago reporting that there was a rumor that there was a God of War in Egypt game in the works. And
that's like way down the road, though. We're talking like probably next gen.
Yeah, and so my disclaimer would be, I guess we could not say things when we hear like spicy or tasty little rumors, but I've tend to find when I hear a lot of people breaking news and it changes, like, Nate the Hate or Jez or Rand, who have like a really good track record and things don't quite come out right, that there are things that happen because there's only so much information people can scrape about something. And I always tell people there's, where there's smoke, there's fire thing, but there's always some truth to some of these rumors, whether it be about hardware or games or studios. The whole truth never comes out that early. So when Mag says something like, we hear there's a God of War in Egypt game coming at the end of this year or next year, I would say I don't know anything other than Mag is saying this in a video, or other people are kind of reporting similar things, right? I just assume, okay, I bet half of that is like probably true or something. So when Mag has reported that, so now are you feeling Jeff's probably right that there is like a God of War, like 20-hour experience or something, like a Lost Legacy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't talk about it. That's why I didn't comment about it. I didn't tweet about it. I didn't make a video about it because I don't know.
Yeah.
And I won't do anything like that until I'll have fun with something. Like when I talked about the Egypt one, they have talked about it. They said, well, we've discussed all these different options as to where we could take the franchise after they're done with the Norse mythology. And one of the things that cropped up more often than not, I think it was over 70+% when they did a vote of all the staff members of Santa Monica, they all said Egypt.
Oh,
not they all, excuse me. 70-something percent said Egypt, and they said, okay, well, when we do these polls, start working on it. Start giving us ideas, give storyboards, do some conceptual drawings, do some things that we can look at or whatever. So people have been working on that. And as a result, then I can make a video. I made a video about that. And I said, how would you, the audience, feel about that? Because at that point, it's something that's come up on the conceptual stage, right? So there's nothing wrong with discussing that. I'm not saying if I say God of War Egypt is coming out in 2027, that would be a different story, but that's not what I said, and that's not how I do things, right? So I'm very careful about that, because last year I had a very brief discussion with Mr. Matty Plays about that. He had actually sent me a message and said, hey, be careful when you talk about, because I mean, that guy's got what, like 600,000 subscribers, whatever the hell it is. Yeah. So he's like big time in the YouTube world. And I think he says, be careful the way when you do spoilers and stuff, not spoilers, when you do like rumors and stuff like that, so that you don't go too like, this is what's happening and whatever else, because then people are going to crucify you if you're off by 1/8 of an inch.
Oh yeah,
right.
They do.
And he's not wrong. And so now just have fun with it. We just have fun with it. Be like, hey man, this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing. The siphon filter thing for Sony. That I've heard that from two sources as well, saying that's, and that kind of adds up when I start. If you watch that video I put out, everybody, you start putting together all the clues. You're like, oh, actually makes a lot of sense. By the way, fun fact, if anybody didn't know, is Ben Studios made siphon filter. I had no idea.
I didn't know that till I saw your video. Yeah, and I played that.
I didn't
back
know
in the
either,
day.
and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And I played all the siphon filters all the way until the Logan one in 2007, and they were great games. Anyways, yeah, so we will hold judgment and we will hold our thoughts until we get something a little more concrete. But there obviously is something. We just don't know in what kind of iteration it's coming. So until then, until I hear more, and then I'm not going to really speak on it until I get something more solid.
And the reason why I bring up God of War, everyone who's watching, thank you for being here, hit the like button, is that there will be PlayStation games that you might be interested in if you're just an Xbox fan. And I think in the future, you will have some sort of access to them like never before. And it could get really interesting. We're going to cover that. One last piece of PlayStation news is today we got the official announcement that April 17th, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is coming to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro. And also there's some DLC microtransaction stuff with the Raiders, or the what was the outfit? Was it Raiders? The Raiders outfit?
I actually, funny enough, sometime during the show, it's rendering. I'm actually launching a new video about it right now.
Oh, okay.
So I have all the information on the top of my head.
Okay, go for it.
It's still rendering as we speak, but I know what it is. But still, go check out my video anyway, please. Help me out.
Yeah, we'll save it for Mag's video. Yeah, we'll save it.
I'll still tell it here. I'm not a scumbag. I know everybody's cool enough to just go check out my 4-minute video. It's all good, man. It's only like 5 minutes. Come on. What it is that there's 3 editions. There's a standard edition. That will be the $70 edition. There's the $100 digital premium edition, and then there's the physical edition. The standard edition is $70. That will just come with the game if you excuse me, hiccups. If you pre-purchase it, you get the Lion Tamer whip and outfit from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. If you buy the digital one, you get 2-day early access, so it launches 2 days early on the 15th of April. With that, you're also going to be getting the Temple of Doom outfit. You're also going to be getting the Last Crusade outfit. You're going to be getting. Hold on a second here. The Order of the Giants DLC. That's coming
Is this
as
stuff
well.
available for existing fans, like on Xbox and PC and everything?
That I don't know. I would imagine that it should already have been up there.
It'll be in the store
as if you bought if you bought the premium edition of the game, or if you paid for early access. You know how you can upgrade, like if you got a game for Game Pass and you pay an extra $30 US, you get access to whatever they give you the premium edition. You probably have access to that stuff there, right? So you get all that. You also get a digital art book. And I think that's it for that one. Now, this is the cool one. This one I'm really interested in is the physical edition. The physical edition comes with all the stuff I aforementioned there. The game, obviously, 2-day early access on the 15th. The Order of the Giants DLC, digital art book, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade packs. Now, here's the cool part. You're also going to get an all-maker relic replica. You're also going to get the Jumbo Steelbook display case, new adventure journal, which I believe that's what Colt has in front of him. Or is that the display case?
I keep my prophylactics in here.
Oh, hey, perfect spot to keep them, baby. I keep my blue chews in mine. Also, this is the cool thing. It comes with the Great Circle 11-inch globe with hidden storage. That's where you put your fun stuff you don't want your parents to find, kids. So that's really cool too.
11 inches of storage.
Excuse me. Colt, where are you going? There it is. So you already have all this stuff. Oh, because you went to the event or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go. So you get all that cool
there's a
stuff
secret way to open it too. You have to know the secret and you can open it. Yeah.
Don't tell the secret. I want people who buy the edition to find out. Now, of course, when I drop my video should drop in the next half hour. But I just wanted to know from people. I'm like, are you interested in buying it? Like PlayStation fans, are you interested in buying it? You're going to play it. Of course, the other thing that I mentioned in the video is that there's no specific word about the PS5 Pro enhancements, not yet. Today was just an announcement with Nathan, what's his face there? Nolan North, excuse me. North and Troy Baker. Very cool. I mean, you had the voices of Nathan Drake and the voice of Indiana Jones together. And of course, he said, like, welcome to the club or whatever. Very cool. That was a great commercial by Bethesda. They did a great job with that commercial. And then that's that. So we shall see what happens. And of course, the big question is, are PlayStation players going to jump on that full price? The other thing, though, and I mentioned this also in the video, is I personally think it's a mistake. And hear me out. I'll tell you why. I think it's hold on. Hear me out. I think they're launching too much stuff too close together. And what's happening is I think it's going to put, especially at full price, you're putting too many demands on the purchasers' wallets.
Well, what else is coming out around middle April to compete with the money for Indiana Jones?
Well, okay, hear me out. Already you've got Shadows that dropped this week, right?
Yes.
We're going to ignore South of Midnight because South of Midnight is only for Xbox and PlayStation for now. But you still have Shadows drop. That's a huge game to drop, right? Especially right now. Then you've got Indy Jones on the 17th. A couple of weeks later, you got Forza Horizon 5. And then a couple of weeks later, you've got Doom the Dark Ages.
Yeah. Isn't Forza Horizon 5 is landing on PlayStation end of the month as well, next to Clerics, Expedition 33. Assassin's Creed Shadows sales should be slowing down, as most sales do, especially by the time you get to April 17th. So I'm not quite sure that's a big competitor.
Yeah, but you've got
Indiana
Indy Jones, but you got Indy Jones and Forza launching within a week of each other.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
so
Xbox is just,
I don't like that.
I don't know.
I'll
tell you what. I'll tell you. I mean,
All
before
right.
I get your solution, PlayStation fans are going to eat the fudge. Wait, that's not an appropriate thing to say. They're going to eat up Forza Horizon 5 and Indy Jones.
Yes, they will. I think
they're going to buy both.
Forza is going to outsell. I think Forza is going to wholly outsell Indy Jones.
I agree. What's your solution? So you don't have.
Okay, here's my solution. I don't like this idea of launching Indy Jones and then like 8 days later Forza 5 at full price, by the way, for both, and then 3 weeks later Doom the Dark Ages, and then 2 weeks later, I'm talking about for PlayStation owners, and then 2 weeks later,
PlayStation guys get an Xbox. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Meg.
Death Stranding 2 is one of the most anticipated games of the year, from what they're saying, from what people are saying so far. Obviously GTA 6 will be number one, but it's up there, right? So then you've got that, and then of course Colt, Are we not forgetting about the Oblivion remake that's dropping? Most
In
likely, by the way,
April.
I am
It's
hearing.
supposed to be in April. What the frick?
Well, the word is it actually will be a shadow drop. So
shout out to Paris in the chat who says Colt has the Indiana Jones, deluxe edition globe totally bought and sold. Facts. Totally bought and sold.
100%.
100%.
I told you, Paris.
Shill.
I said it from the beginning. Absolute shill. Yeah.
Somebody's
Shilla
like,
in
you're bought
Manila.
and sold. I'm like, I already submitted my review, and I'm not on Metacritic, but my review's already, uploaded to YouTube. Oh, what's this? That's nice.
If Colt was fighting in a special boxing event, he'd be the Shilla in Manila. That's exactly what would be. That's what he always. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
if he was a dessert at Dairy Queen, he'd be the Chanilla milkshake.
Hey, rest in peace to our boy George Foreman.
I know. To George Foreman,
Legend.
man.
Legend.
The legend. Absolute legend. And then what a comeback. After he has like a comeback and he wins the title, the heavyweight title again as an older man and clearly out of shape. Then he comes back and creates one of the greatest kitchen appliances ever made and makes hundreds
Since
of millions
the Ron
of dollars.
Pro Pill rotisserie grill.
This guy is just hitting like home run after home run after home run.
You couldn't do a boxing pun there?
No, I couldn't.
Knockout after knockout, or
I could have done that. Yeah,
just a TKO.
But like the guy's just like he was knocking out. He was just hitting threes nonstop. You know what I mean? Like this guy's just like smoking them right after another.
Risket said that if you were a boxer, your name would be George Foreskin, not Foreman.
Thank you, Risket. Oh my God.
Let me get some super chats so we can get back into this news. You guys are amazing. We got a member chat from Lawrence Lunkin Hustle Rogers
of Arabia.
Yes, of Arabia. Colt and Mag are always my favorite part of the week. Been sick for over 2 months. Not sure what it is, but this is my weekly bright spot. Man, that sucks,
dude.
2 months. I hope you get better,
bro.
Yeah.
Dude, tell me in the chat that you've seen somebody, man. 2 months is a long time.
Like a witch doctor or something.
Something. like where Risket lives in Australia, they have all kinds of those people. Like, they'll I don't know. Never mind. I was gonna say something really bad. I'm not saying it. I'm just gonna let it go because I had a great joke lined up. No. I even almost said my real name right now. My goodness. Mag, don't say what you're about to say. Anyhow, dude, you got to find out what's going on. And I want to know, man. I want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, I hope you're all right. I know,
wild. And I'm happy that we're a bright spot for you, man. Because
thank you.
That means a lot to us. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we're sick in the head. You're gonna get better.
Yes.
Andy Ackerman.
Yeah, I can't get better. I'm getting worse.
The doctor's like, let me take a look at that. No.
Yeah.
Still growing.
It's like
Andy still shrinking. That's what the doc says. He's like, well, you came in, it's like, I'm going to stop coming in. Andy Ackerman with the $2 super chat says, Mag is a fairy again, I see. I've been playing Split Fiction with my son.
Dude.
How old's Wolfman?
Wolfman is 12. He's 12 years old.
My son's almost 14, and we were playing it. Okay. And we got to that part, and I just yelled, this is the part where Mag said, yes, I'm a fairy.
That's the part.
We got just past that level. It's been fantastic. And it was so sacrilegious that I waited to play Split Fiction because I've been playing Shadows because I've been so busy with other games. But when we can play, we're playing. It's great. Thank you, Danny Ackerman. Udana Kizada says, what do Mag and Adams have in common? They make everything up.
Oh, dude, you know what? That's fighting. Those are fighting words right there, man. Fighting words. Funny, though. That's funny. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Hey, Mag is full of crap, and I'm the nucleus. So what are you going to do?
Come on, man. What are you talking about?
Hey, Mag.
Jesus. Yeah, right. Colt the liar.
We got, do you know the Broke Boy Insider gifted 5 channel memberships like half an hour ago. Thank you so much for doing that.
Nice.
Make it simple. The $2 says after Forza Horizon 5, I will never doubt Mag's sources again. Make it simple. Just redeemed you, bro. I will never doubt Mag again.
I'm not trying to be like, I'm not a bragger or a boaster. I might come across that way. That's just for like entertainment and stuff like that. Shut up, Colt.
Yeah, he's not.
That's
just
for entertainment. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm actually quite a humble person. I just do that stuff, and then when I get these things right, there's a lot of times where I get a little upset when we talk about something on this very show, by the way, and then all of a sudden 2 months later, some guy comes out of nowhere going breaking news, and I'm like, dude, we broke the news
breaking news.
Yeah, we broke it 8 weeks ago, but I'm just pointing it out. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But anyways, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's carry on.
That is nice. Brisket says, I'm driving, but want to show love to the chat. And you guys are great. Colt as well, legend. Why is Mag still stinking up the podcast, though? He says that with love. I'm very sure of it. Yeah. God, that guy. Me Puppet sends in a member chat and says, loving Assassin's Creed Shadows so far. My backlog is killing me. If you want to send in a member chat to be reread over the air, thank you to almost 700 people are watching. Hit the like button.
Wow.
You can become a channel member and you get emojis in the chat, and you also can send member chats. And you can just be a great person all simultaneously. All right, let's get into oh boy. So Assassin's Creed Shadows is a success.
Yep.
A minor success, I will say. That's my objective opinion. It's had 2 million players in the first couple of days or 3 days. Across 70% of those are on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. There are very few on Steam because the game is available on Ubisoft Plus for $18. Like, if you are not sure about Assassin's Creed, for $18 you get the full version, the deluxe version of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's not going to take you more than a month. So why pay $70 when you can pay $20? So I think across PC, the 30% that are on PC, I would guess half of those are playing it on Ubisoft Plus for $20. And Ubisoft said, where is that quote? They said that, I thought I pasted it in here. I'll go off my memory. Ubisoft said that they had so many people join Ubisoft Plus lately who've never played Ubisoft games. So they brought in
because they don't want to pay $70 for the game.
Yeah, they brought on millions of new people to their service who've been around for a while. So Chris Dring said, where is this? My gosh. Oh, it's down here. Chris Dring from, they used to be of Games Industry Biz. He just started a new gaming thing. Yep. He said that they have brought in so many people to Ubisoft Plus that after a couple of months of being subscribed, they're probably going to make it work for themselves. So people are complaining about Assassin's Creed Shadows, saying they're afraid to show the sales numbers. And that's because correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, because I don't know. I think you can access Ubisoft Plus on PS5 and Xbox and PC.
You know, I'm not sure if you can, because I tried to do exactly that, but the only thing it showed I tried, like Xbox, I know they do not. PC, yes. But and then I checked on Xbox, I couldn't find it, and then PS5, I went on there.
You can on PS5
Ubisoft Plus. You can. It says Ubisoft Plus Classics.
You can get day one brand new games like Assassin's Creed Shadows and Outlaws on Ubisoft Plus Premium on Xbox, PS5, and PC. So
what? There
are 2 million people that have played the game in 3 days. So it's your guess as good as mine. How many people decided, well, the discussion about the game is that it's mid or that you should avoid it, but I really want to play it because I just like playing games and I know what I like. The people that paid for a subscription service. And then if you're Ubisoft and you're like, here's my best guesstimation. 40% of 2 million people are playing it on Ubisoft Plus. It's probably closer to 30%. So that's a big chunk of people that didn't buy the game. So are you going to say this is how many sales I have? Or are you going to say this is how many players I have? Now, that can be a cop-out because Xbox stopped repeating numbers because they have Game Pass for 8 years. But the reality is, Mag, that subscriptions are ubiquitous across our entertainment medium. Movies, TV, video games is strongly supported by subscription services, and people love them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be subscribing to them by the hundreds of millions. So Ubisoft saying we have 2 million players, and they're happy with that. The game's reviewing really well. The grifters lost on this one, I think. I think they're going to take the L. They tried to get this game to fail, and it didn't.
Yeah. Now the funny thing is, actually, I know I saw a lot of the videos because I follow everything, and I follow everything for reasons. Like some people say to me, and it's hilarious that people are so close-minded sometimes, where they're like, "Man, why do you even hang out with these guys? Why do you talk to these guys? Why do you listen to this podcast?" And I'm like, because I don't live in an echo chamber. I listen to everything, whether I agree with it or not, so that I get everyone's perspective. That is exactly why, even if I disagree with someone, I will listen to the show because I want to hear their points, because I respect everybody's opinion. So that even goes for the grifters against like AC Shadows.
Yeah.
And I've said my piece about that game. And I know, everybody knows by now my mantra about Ubisoft: buy 1 year later, 70% off, and all the bugs and everything is fixed and smoothed out. Best way to play a game. I did that with Avatar. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, before we get into this, I'm playing Star Wars Outlaws, and I played 9 hours this weekend, and I can't stop playing it.
You like it?
So effing good. Now
Really?
that they've cleaned it up, they've done quality of life fixes. Gameplay has been tweaked and changed. Like even the stealth mechanics were completely overhauled. No more bugs. No more anything. Stunning graphics. Great story. Sound design is absolutely top notch.
Yeah,
the music is a 10 out of 10.
That's
and
good
I'm
to
like,
hear.
this is incredible. And like I said, Ubisoft is not a bad publisher. They make fantastic games.
They're really good.
They're just really crap at releasing them. That's all.
I mean, they've had a rough patch this past year for sure. But they're such a great talent.
They've got, and I got to tell you something, Ubisoft has some of the best graphics out there, period. Out of any studio out there, I think the only ones that come close to them would be Naughty Dog, I would think, and what the hell are they called? The guys who make Gears of War. What the
Coalition.
hell? The Coalition. I think the Coalition, Naughty Dog, and Ubisoft have the best graphics in the business.
Yeah, there were incels that were looking at my screenshots on social media and stuff, and they're like, looks like a 2007 game. I'm like, shut the frick up. Shut up, you moron.
No, dude.
I don't get the fascination with pretend I'm a guy who's not interested in playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't agree with what they're doing. It doesn't look like a good game. Why the fudge are they constantly talking about a game they're not going to play? I want to get into what Paul Tassi said about that as well. I think that's kind of where we're going to go here with the discussion.
I have something funny. Something funny to mention about the grifters after you're done, but go ahead. Do you?
No, I think that's what we're gonna. Let's kind of like fold in the butter.
Listen, I respect their opinions. If like I said, if they want to do that, that's fine. But here's the funny part, and this is what makes me laugh. So you watch a video, and I'm not going to say any of the names because some of these guys are really big dogs out there in the world, right? And they're getting hundreds of thousands of views on the videos. Fine.
Yeah.
And then they're shooting the game down, saying it's crap, it's this, it's that, it's whatever, it's shilling, it's and it's pandering to this and that, to this community and that community, whatever. Some of it right, some of it wrong, whatever. But at the end of it, you know what they say? Tune in next week when I start playing Assassin's Creed Shadows live on my channel, where you can watch the gameplay. And you know what the excuse is? I play it so you don't have to. And I'm like, you are so full of crap. It's unbelievable.
Don't smile when you're having fun.
Yeah, and you know what? You're sitting there and you put a 15-episode session of you playing the entire game, yet every video you release is you crap talking it. And you sit down and you play the entire game on there for views and clicks. You're so full of crap, it's unbelievable. Because if you were actually if your convictions were strong enough that you weren't going to play the game because of X, Y, and Z reasons, then you shouldn't even be playing the game at all. Then you should actually say, well, I'm not buying the game. Period. I'm not going to be showcasing it. But they know that people want to see it, and so they make money off of they make money off of the hate, and then they make money off of the views of people watching them play it. It is so disingenuous that is something that I would never do in the YouTube world. I would never do that. If I say this game is crap and I'm not playing it for whatever reason, you bet your ass you will not see that game on my channel ever. And I said it a million times before, and I'll say it again. Authenticity is the currency of the future. And people with even half a brain or a full brain will see right through that crap. And that's what I don't like, because if you crap talk it and you have all these videos getting hundreds of thousands of views of people saying this, that, and the other, and then all of a sudden you go out and then all of a sudden you have a 15-episode session of you playing the game. What are we talking about here, dude? What are you saying? That just disavows all your crap. Sorry.
I don't see that often. I don't see these guys playing it like they want the. And Malik's saying, who are these people? Or who's the they? And
Dude, there are a lot. Malik, all you got to do is look, man.
Yeah, the problem is they're a loud minority that are trying to stop the direction of gaming that goes in a way they don't like. But for the most part, the majority of what we're hearing complaints about in games have been around for 10, 20 years. And Paul Tassi wrote this article about how Assassin's Creed Shadows complaints and controversy are basically a nothing burger. They're basically the same issues that no one complained about in the past. And I've got a couple quotes I want to read from him. He says, to me, this speaks, Paul Tassi writes for Forbes. He's great. I'd love to have him on the show one day, but I don't know if he cares for me. So, but I've always respected his work. And if he ever heard that, if somebody ever whispered, hey, Colt really likes your stuff and he'd like to have you on the show, it'd be great. Cause I think he's really, really got a sharp mind when it comes to just taking a step back and looking at things. He said, quote, to me, this speaks not how the games have gotten more woke, but how weird and nonsensical this sort of pushback has become. Remember Mass Effect, he says, the nearly 20-year-old series everyone likes and that has been doing this kind of thing for eons. Now, I'm going to stop there. And he's talking about, in Mass Effect, I can romance a female. There are a couple of males. If I'm a male shepherd, a Colt shepherd, I can romance a couple of the males. I can romance a frogman named Thane. I can romance a ambiguously androgynous, or not androgynous, but a asexual blue female-like alien. Like, this is stuff that has been in games for a long time. You can romance these characters. You get a shortcut scene where they start to make out and it fades to black and you're like, okay, we made a connection. This has been around for a long time. When it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, Yasuke is a historical person in Japan. He is a African person that was under advisement of Lord Oda. Oh my gosh, I always mess up his name. He was under the advisement of that samurai and he was trained under him or whatever. He fought alongside him. No one had a problem with all the anime, video games, or other comics or other things that he's been in for years. The Japanese do not have a problem with this game. Their problem was, this is kind of old news, but their problem was that people would imitate art and go out and vandalize real life shrines. So Ubisoft patched it out in the game. Paul Tassi says that they've been doing these things for eons. Games haven't changed. These commenters and fans have, which have become a pit of rage-baiting Twitter users and YouTubers, and their audience making something out of literally nothing, time and time again. If you have a problem with Yasuke being in the game, you want a traditional male or female or just a male Japanese, a shinobi or samurai, I understand that. But when you ask these people to explain why they don't want Yasuke in the game, they'll say, I don't want a gay black samurai who can make out with another dude. Well, that's the buttons that guy chose. And if you can give me a reasonable reason why you don't want to play as a black character, good luck saying that without sounding like you're a bigot.
Listen, everybody has an option. And here's the thing. Now the thing is what you just said. By the way, Sotness
I know.
In the chat almost
I apologize if it's super fiery. I also want to book in that before I let Mag take it, that I sort of sit a little bit on the fence with this. I understand people's frustration. You don't have to have the choice between hetero or homosexual cut scene. It's not even a cut scene. It's just you don't have to have that, but you also don't have to see it if you don't want to. So I'm not one-sided on this. I understand some of the frustration, but it has been so hyperextended. It has become a toxic discussion, and it's gatekeeping people and trying to tank game companies for choices that sometimes can be inconsequential, and sometimes they can be like, why? Why do we need this? Sorry, Mag. Hope you can go.
No. Listen, there's valid points on both sides of the equation. Like, for example, there's the absolute ridiculous, like Dragon Age Veilguard, which, by the way, is free on PlayStation Plus. They gave it away for free. So, like, I remember they were talking about it back, and they're like, yeah, it's doing well. Don't worry about it. This and that. The chuds have been owned. And all of a sudden, like, dude, they gave it away 4 months later for free. But anyways, it doesn't matter. The point is, like, you get to some of those storylines where, like, the dude with the horn sit down and, like, without any provocation, just sits down and goes, He goes, so I'm non-binary. Who the frig asked you? And it's like, why was that even like? Why would you do like? It was so stupid and egregious. It's laughable, right? And you could tell that some pink hair was shoving that in there. That's fine. You can get angry about that kind of stuff.
And I agree, Mag. I think they did go way above and beyond, way too much. Absolutely.
Yeah, they were upset about other reasons, but anyways.
But then I see that, and I'm like, now they're expecting it to come to everything. They're like they're hyper focused on who's doing it next.
Well, but it's also because there are people upset out there about it. What ends up happening is you have an audience now. So now when you do that, you show your anger or whatever else towards this, that, and the other. You want to go with the identity politics war, which is out there and it's a real thing or whatever else. And a lot of it I disagree with or agree with. It doesn't matter. My opinions vary depending on the case. I don't blanket statement things.
It's also your opinion. It's like up to you and your personal choice.
Sure. Now the other thing is, like I said, I have a problem. And like if you don't want to play as Yasuke or whatever, you think it's pandering to they're just pandering to this community, this and that, whatever. Fine. You can feel that way. No one's going to stop you. You live in a relatively free country, free world, whatever. At least would depend on what country you're in. And you have the say I don't want to do that. That's fine. You could do that. But the people making money off it are that's what I was saying. I have the issue with people making money off it, and then you turn around and then you're buying the game, you're supporting the game, and you're making a ton of money off of the clicks of those videos. That's where it gets disingenuous. So therefore, it pokes so many holes in your narrative that how can anybody take you seriously after that, right?
Yeah.
I don't see, like, for example, I've told you before on this very show. Okay, I have no problem with Yasuke being African. I don't like playing as tanks. I never liked it. When I play in Borderlands, I don't pick the tank when I do Borderlands. When I play those PvE games, whatever you want to call them, like
I don't
Marvel
either.
Rivals.
But Yasuke is pretty awesome to play as
tanks.
He might win you over, but I'm with you, bro. Yeah,
he might win me over. He might win me over, but I'm going to play it because, like I said, I consume Ubisoft games after they patched it a few times, get some quality of life fixes out there. It's a little bit cheaper, then I'll go out and buy it, no problem.
Yeah.
However, after the show, I am going to look into the Xbox and PlayStation and see if the Ubisoft Plus is there, like the premium or whatever.
Says it is.
I'd like to see if it's... Okay, so the thing is, when I went to look it up, the only thing I found is... Help me out, chat. The only thing I found was Ubisoft Classics. So you can, they were available there. It said Ubisoft Plus Classics. I did not see HC Shadows as a choice. I'm going to turn it on right now.
Yeah, go ahead, because, I mean, all I did was...
I got a third screen right here. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to let it boot up, see what shows up.
It says you can access Ubisoft Plus on your Xbox One and Series X consoles. Right. Benefits, offers 70-plus games, including new releases, premium editions on Xbox. And PS5 got it. PlayStation got it before Xbox did, like 6 months before. So according to this, which is an AI overview, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It says Xbox.com, Ubisoft Plus. Yeah.
Phylaw or FYlaw? Phylaw 95. We'll call it. It says not on PS5. And then Harris Rodriguez said I saw it on Xbox. Okay. I'm going to load up my Xbox and my PlayStation, and I'm going to see if I can find it. Anyway, we'll do that as the show goes on.
Okay.
Because
I'm seeing
I got
people
4
saying
screens at once here, dude.
I'm just on one 65-inch OLED. That was funny because I don't know. Let me see.
I feel like the operator from The Matrix. When he's got like 8 screens, and he's like, "Morpheus, get out of there! There's an agent!" It's me. I got 4 monitors going at once. I'm afraid if I load up the Xbox, I'm gonna blow the whole damn thing. I'm gonna drain the entire town of electricity.
When I was at that blue number at Holly's house this past week, she's like, "Do you want to see where I podcast?" And I went in this room, and there was the wall. And if you've watched her show, she has in script, it says that blue number behind her. That she's got these cool lights.
Yeah. I love
and
that.
all of her decoration stuff. And I walk in, she has, if I remember right, it was 2 ultra wide curved monitors side by side. And I'm like, this is so cool. And it's so funny because I'll expose her a little bit here. This side where she's facing,
careful, Colt.
This side is not this. She's got all this stuff here, but when you're looking right here, you have this epic gaming spot, and it's like with Gaz, she's in a small space, so all this stuff is crammed over here. And when I went into Gaz's space, I walk into where all the magic happens when you podcast, and then you look and it's so small. And if anybody came into my room, it's only if you're in the US, it's 10 foot by 12 foot. So like, I'm like 2 arms lengths deep over this way and then like 3 arms lengths wide. But yeah, it's so funny to see how the sausage is made when you walk in there. Then I sat down and I posted a picture. Check me out on social media on Twitter or X if you want to see the picture of me at her location. And I had to say, I'm here visiting with my wife because I'm like, all of a sudden I'm here in her space. We're like, what's going on? That's kind of weird. All right, are you finding anything on your PS5 yet?
No. I'm looking right now on the PS5. Then when I'm done, I'll look at Xbox.
Yeah, everything I looked at says it's there.
Finding it.
I mean, the only reason why I don't know about where Ubisoft Plus is available because I would never subscribe to it. Like when their games come out, I just end up buying one, and all their back catalog, I've already played it all. So I don't need it. I own it.
I buy the games at half price down the road, and they're perfect. And I always get them on a summer sale or a winter sale. Like I think I got Star Wars Outlaws in the Black Friday sale for like 60% off.
Yeah.
Right. And I bought it, and that was all there was to it, and I was done.
Alfonso Mendoza says, tell us about Rand's setup. I didn't get to go to Rand's house. He came over to that Blue Numbers house to hang out with us. But we were looking at pictures. He showed me on his phone because he's shown me a couple times. But he has like a big basement that runs the whole house. So like it is like a whole thing. And he has this whole big spot where he games. And then off in the corner where he podcasts. Because if I went to visit him, guys, I would have been saying, okay, Rand, get a bookshelf, put it here. Put your camera right here. You're on camera. You're ready. Because that's all anyone said when they saw the pictures. Rand is like, you need to go on camera. Because when you and I are on camera, like it's the real deal. It's like, it's almost like we're there. Like when I meet you, you're not going to be the picture that comes to life. I'm just going to, I'll just be able to pinch your nipples in real life. It'd be amazing.
Exactly. I'm totally excited for that. Yeah, it is what it is. Listen, I can't find this bloody thing on the PlayStation. So I don't see it anywhere.
I don't know, whatever it looks like everything I searched.
I even like go to Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? And I'm looking at it says here, PS5, PS5 Pro Enhanced, Standard Edition, whatever. You scroll across and then it'll give you options like to purchase or whatever, but it doesn't say anything about Ubisoft Plus here at all. So I don't see it here. I don't have anything here. Now I'm going to turn this off and go on to Xbox right now. That's right. I have an Xbox as well, in case anybody was wondering.
Oh my gosh.
Meg, you don't have an Xbox.
I don't even know where to look. Maybe it's in the store. I have no idea. I mean, do you guys care at this point? I think we kind of made the point that.
Curious?
Yeah, I'm curious, but it kind of goes to the point like how successful is Assassin's Creed. It took a year.
Maverick is saying go to the website, Mag.
Okay. It took over a year for Alan Wake 2, a Game of the Year contender, to make its money. Will Assassin's Creed Shadows make its money back in the coming month or so? Probably.
Good question.
Probably not. But for people expecting Assassin's Creed Shadows to save Ubisoft from launching Avatar and Outlaws to horrible reception and sales, no. But is it a step towards a turn in the right direction for Ubisoft? I don't think they're going to die. I think they're going to pull out of this because of a great reception, and I think they are getting enough people playing for them to like continue moving on. And you really should want Ubisoft to survive. They've got The Division. They have, if you care about Watch Dogs, but they've got The Division. They've got Rainbow Six. They've got, help me out with their big franchises. Splinter Cell game is Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, right? Malik says they don't offer a year. Oh, Ubisoft doesn't have. Oh, yeah, Ubisoft doesn't have a year to make up their money. No, and they also don't have anything in the pipeline for the coming year. So it's going to be tough for them. Really tough. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. We're live here on YouTube. There are 700 people watching. I'm here with Mag, middle-aged game guy who covers Xbox, PlayStation, and occasionally Nintendo news when he's really super bored. And I'm Colteastwood. I cover mostly Xbox and a bit of PlayStation and PC news. And we're talking about the controversy of Assassin's Creed, the demise of Ubisoft that may come back around. We're going to talk about Xbox getting PlayStation games in the near future here in just a moment. But we appreciate you guys for your support. You're also going to check us out on demand on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and many other places. Let me get into Assassin's Creed.
Colteastwood, I found it.
You found it? All right,
on Xbox. Okay, on PlayStation, it doesn't say squad. On Xbox, it says right here. I can't show you the screen because otherwise I'd have to pull the camera and show you the other screen.
Yeah.
And I can't share this screen.
And then we
'cause it's
see
not
you're not
attached
wearing
to the
pants.
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see I'm not wearing pants. I'm actually wearing Ride the Lightning Metallica PJ pants. Would anybody like to see them?
Hold on. Let me. And the Ride the Lightning is like written right in the perfect spot. Yeah.
Well, it's all over my pants. But anyways, it says right here in the Xbox store, get Ubisoft Plus included with Ubisoft Plus. Click on that, and you can join it right off of Xbox. But that did not show up on the PlayStation Store.
Okay.
So I don't think that that's available there.
It's probably available to buy. You have to go to a browser and purchase it. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me that PlayStation wouldn't have a direct link to subscribe to somebody else's platform on their console.
Well,
just
see,
like Apple
even
doesn't.
like Star Wars Outlaws, all the games are right here. I'm looking at it right on Xbox here, and it's all here on Xbox. And I did not see it. I'm gonna go.
That's gonna tie in really well to our discussion about PlayStation allowing their games on Xbox consoles in the future. But yes, it is $18 a month for day one games on Xbox and PlayStation. PlayStation just doesn't. If you're not finding it, Mag, my assumption is PlayStation doesn't just outright tell you because
no, it doesn't. I don't think it outright tells you because they want you to buy it. Let's face it. That's the way they operate. But Gray Monad in the chat here is saying, he says, Mag, you can access Ubisoft Plus and Classics on PS5 as part of your PS Plus Extra or Deluxe sub.
Really?
I do have
kind of like
Plus
Xbox.
Extra.
Sorry.
No, I'm saying it's there, but I don't even see the square, like where I can access where it's like I see it says if you go down the list when you go.
It might be in your list of perks or something when you subscribe, but that's interesting. If PS Plus Deluxe has Ubisoft Plus, like Xbox Game Pass comes with EA Play.
No. I don't think it does, dude. I think it just gives you the option to see it.
Okay.
Like you'll be able to access it. You probably have to pay on top of it. But like as I scroll down, like it says on PlayStation Plus Extra, which I'm part of.
Magnum says, I want Ride the Mag PJs.
Whoa. Take it easy there, sir. Take it easy there. You riding the lightning is enough.
The point is, yes, there 70% of the gamers playing Assassin's Creed Shadows are on PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, and there's probably a sizable chunk who are playing that on Ubisoft Plus on the console, as well as PC, where I'm playing it.
I just found the thing. It says Ubisoft Plus Classics. It literally says play a curated catalog of award-winning Ubisoft games. It does not say anything about. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
So I will explore this after the show because we're not gonna waste the entire show talking about this. But I just
my stance is you can subscribe to it on console and get day one games. Just where it is, you have to go to a browser. That's I think we beat the dead pony long enough about it. I think.
Yeah. I think so. Magtalica, thank you for that.
Magtalica.
Yeah. That's funny. Skill at will. That was great.
Will the Broke Boy, I always want to say Will because that's what he was. Do you know the Broke Boy Insider says, Mag, I'm not a bragger, but dang it, I said Forza Horizon 5 and Gears to go to PlayStation a year ago. Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't be a bragger. Yeah, a lot of us have said it too.
No, we're just pointing out what we've said.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean?
Sometimes you hear stuff, sometimes it's a good guess. And Captain Chats says Ubisoft Plus is a great option, and I'm using it to play the PC version. I have a copy thanks to GameShare on PS5. Also loving the game. Yeah. Lawrence.
Captain Chats is spamming it, by the way. He's spamming it in the chat there. Ubisoft Plus is not on PlayStation. So there you go, folks. There's your answer.
It's not?
That's what he says. He says it over and over and over.
God nabbit.
You see it? It's all there. Like Captain Chats a whole bunch of times.
I mean,
there it is.
I am getting sick of this argument right now. You know, it's going to be like littering the comment section after the show goes up on demand.
It's fine. We're just looking at it. But either way, listen, if you're on Xbox, which I would imagine most people that are listening to the show are, then you can get the game for like $15. How much does the Ubisoft Plus cost? Anybody know offhand?
It's like $18 a month in the US. So like
so for $20, you can have for $20 you can have Assassin's Creed Shadows right now.
Right now on Ubisoft's webpage, I'm clicking play it now with Ubisoft Plus, and when I click, it does absolutely nothing. So. Okay, get all the games with you. See all games. Choose your plan.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, I could share my screen, but I would probably mess something up. Okay.
Nah, don't worry
Classics
about it.
Premium. Choose this plan. It's going. It's logging. It wants me to log in.
Yeah.
Password, big boobs, 84. Okay.
Whoa. Hey, that's my password. How did you find out?
It is not on PlayStation. It's not. It says.
See, there it is. There we got our answer, folks.
The flag that popped up said PC and then the Xbox logo. That is so funny because I remember the leaks going out about that PlayStation was getting Ubisoft Plus and Xbox wasn't. Are you telling me? Are you kidding me? That all this time that Xbox was the only one who got it, PlayStation never did?
Right here, premium
platform.
Play the most premium editions day one, and it's got everything down. It says 100 plus games on PC, play on Xbox. That's all it says.
It is not
and you can
on.
Play with no PlayStation, and you can play on cloud with Luna.
Yes, it said Luna, PC, and Xbox.
And
Captain
Xbox.
Chats goes, see? I told, bro, we wasted
all right,
7.
Captain Chats, relax. We're trying to run a show here. We got 700 people watching.
Yes. He goes, now I can go to bed. He said, now I can go to bed.
You're not going to bed. You're not going to bed. Listen, you've got half an hour left on this show, and then you got to go to my channel and watch my show about Indiana Jones, and then you can go to bed.
Lay on your side with your phone while you listen to Meg and I yell and argue about where Ubisoft Plus is for 27 minutes.
I want you to watch my video 100 times in a row so that I want you to fall asleep and just put it on loop so you can increase my like the hours watched, the public hours watched. I need you to increase that. So just have it on loop and just fall asleep. All right, folks.
Bushy Polygon says even Copilot is wrong. Yes, whatever Google uses for their AI overview was also wrong. Like the very first result was that it was available on PS5. Yeah,
wild,
Parasite
so
82.
I wasn't wrong. I couldn't find the damn thing.
Yeah, I couldn't
kept
either.
looking for it.
Parasite 82 says, and you call yourself gamers. Laugh out loud. Yeah.
Jesus.
We wasted 27 minutes trying to figure that out. For anybody who's watching on demand, guess what? It's not available. Ubisoft Plus is not available on PlayStation. So PlayStation probably was the majority of the purchase.
Also, well, yeah, I would imagine so. And Colteastwood is also not available on PS5. You have to go to the website, and then you have to download Colteastwood, and then you'll find it from there, and then you'll be able to find it from there. Available.
Who the heck would
He's available on Luna, PC, and Xbox only. Colteastwood.
Can you imagine the game? Like I walk around, I'm like, this is what Xbox is doing, and my nose grows, and then you can't get through a doorway, and you have to pull back the lie. Xbox is going to have exclusives forever, and then you can't move forward, can't jump because your nose keeps bumping it.
That's hilarious.
That's not nice.
I'm shouting out Taco Chef, by the way, Taco Chef Forever.
Oh, yes.
He sends me a lot of messages. It's his birthday tomorrow, so I want to wish him a happy birthday from all of us here on XNC in the chat. And yes. I'm sending him a message right now saying happy early birthday, and we'll tell him to listen to the show. We'll shout him out in the show. But anyway, happy birthday to one of our biggest fans out there as well. Yes.
Yeah. Taco Chef Forever talk about there? Sent me a voice message the other day.
Talk about?
Yeah, appreciate that.
No
time.
laughs from anybody?
No what?
God, you didn't hear me, did you?
No, I was talking all loud and stuff.
Oh my God, Colt. I said, what else do you want to talk about tonight?
Oh.
Yes.
Did you try the lasagna?
Yeah, I know, Unbelievable. Yeah. I haven't done any of those sounds in a long time.
Have you tried the lasagna?
There it is.
It's my favorite.
All right.
There we go. Achievement unlocked. We are more than 75% through the show. Colteastwood, what would you like to talk about
now is the time of the show where we talk about PlayStation's attempt to block their games from being played on an Xbox console. This could be nothing. This could be something that never even happens for Xbox, but according to the latest that's been discussed and a leaked marketing screenshot about the new Xbox dashboard, it appears that Xbox future console or future dashboard experience would give you access to look at your PC games or even launch them on that device. And I would say we don't know what Xbox is doing, but it would be very believable that Xbox would build a universal dashboard that works across handhelds, their handheld, other handhelds, smart TVs, desktop PCs, laptops, tablets, phones, and the new Xbox console. The other rumor, according to Jez, is that the next Xbox console is being built off of Win32, so it's basically a PC that also can play your Xbox games. So it stands to reason that they would have this universal dashboard that is the same experience everybody has, the same access to the same things. Xbox showed a tab on Thursday or Friday of last week that showed Steam. It was funny because there's a couple of typos in there, and they showed Steam twice in the tab or something like that. I would have covered this in the weekly news, but I was getting ready to leave for Chicago. The issue being that I own 75 to 100 games on Steam, and I own 40 games on Ubisoft Connect, and some on EA. So I have these four major PC fronts where I own a bunch of games. Then I own like 1,000 on Xbox console. So in the future, Mag, I could have the next Xbox console / PC, and I would be able to hit all, and it would show me all of these games that I could launch. Some games are not even available on Xbox because I have them, like right now I have been playing a little bit of Transformers Fall for Cybertron because I have it on Steam digitally. So this is really cool stuff. The problem is that everyone says that PlayStation will block their games like Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, etc., that they would block those from being playable on a quote-unquote Xbox in the future because it can access Steam. Jez Corden said today that I would not count out that PlayStation will find a way to block Xbox game or block their own PlayStation games from being played on a considered Xbox console. I think they can't do it because how in the world is PlayStation going to differentiate between the different hardware devices? If I have a desktop PC that is running, I have one right over here. I have a $2,200 PC. If I was able to download the new Xbox API or the dashboard, like this experience where you launch and you get the I'm glad that Paris is here because he's kind of on my side on this one as well. This is so cool. The reason why I want to say all this, I'm sorry, I'm talking a million miles an hour. If they're doing this, it would be so amazing that I would get a true Xbox style experience with the power and flexibility of PC in the future. Even if I didn't buy their next device, I could launch that software on my PC that's running the show, and I would be able to look at the Steam tab and see all of my games, including Helldivers 2, which I own on Steam. People are saying that PlayStation would find a way to block that. There is so much to unpack because Jez says, we don't know what's going on, but we should err on the side that PlayStation is going to get their way and stop Xbox. There's so much I want to say. I'm going to give it to you, Meg. Otherwise, I would just go on this branching tangent for an hour and a half. What do you think's going on with this, and what do you think's going to happen?
Snow Dragon in the chat says Mag is deep in thought. Yes, I was deep in thought trying to wrap my head around the situation. I don't have any concrete answer as to what's happening because we don't even know what's happening. There are the possibilities of what could happen. When you look at the situation, they could say, okay, well, they would find a way. I see people saying they'll find a way to block it. But here's the other thing. If you're already selling the games on PC, right? And then let's say in a roundabout way, if they do have some kind of Steam integration with the next Xbox, why would you even bother blocking it? Because then you'll get a bunch of Xbox people playing old PlayStation games that they're going to have to buy for almost full price. And then PlayStation gets a cut of that anyway because they're the publishers of the game. So they get 70% of that sale, right? So if you look at it that way, and these are not games that just came out, they're like, okay, integration, go right ahead, do it. Why? Because when you buy that, you're not getting that on a subscription service. You have to buy it. So if you're buying it, PlayStation gets that 70% publisher fee for that purchase. And they're like, you know what I mean? In their respect, they're going to be like, fine, whatever. By the way, if you want to play Last of Us 3 on the PlayStation 6, then you're going to have to come over and buy a PS6. And that's how they get you over there. And that's how they get everybody over there eventually. That's how it all works. Because you get like, you borrow a buddy's PS4 to play God of War. You're like, all right, I got to see what this is all about because you don't have one. All of a sudden, you're like, holy shit, that was really good. And then what do?
Go buy a PS4.
And then you buy a PS5 and then whatever else, right? And it's almost impossible. That's how you do it, and that's how they get you. That's how they get you in the ecosystem and move forward. I think that it's a no-brainer that they keep the games accessible there if it indeed is the way that this new Xbox is going to go, and it would be accessible. Some people in the chat, like Magnum, saying no, it will not. He's saying that it's Xbox games and you will be able to access there that you bought on Steam, not Steam games. But we don't know. I don't really know. I don't think any of us actually know what's going on.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. Like,
Magnum just said that. So,
but I don't have. Oh no, we're gonna talk over each other a lot tonight. I don't own. I don't own Gears 5 on Steam. I only have the Xbox version, so it's available on Steam.
Is this all speculation at this point? Because Microsoft hasn't come out and said anything.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We're
just
spitballing.
speculating at this point.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, all right, let's just continue down the road of speculation. If you were able to access all Steam games through this, just for argument's sake, and PlayStation was on there, I don't see any reason why PlayStation would turn money down. That seems ludicrous to me. They would just take the money for like a 4-year-old game.
You mean the 70%, right?
Game? They take the 70%. Like let's say there's, I don't know, let's pull someone out of the chat just out of all right, let's just say Gray Monad.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a PS4 or a PS5, and he's never played Ghost of Tsushima. Now he buys a new Xbox with Steam integration, and he has access to Ghost of Tsushima PC, the PS5, the PS5 Director's Cut, and he wants to play it. He'll go out and buy that. Well, they just bought a game that he had no intention of buying to begin with. You've exposed an older game, and now the thing is that game is 5 years old now, right? Fine, the PS5 remaster version came out 3 years ago, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's an older game that probably the sales on the PlayStation probably died off, and they're like, hey, you like that? Well, if you want to play Ghost of Yotei, you're going to have to buy a PS5. So then let's just say Gray Monad says, wow, that was the greatest experience I've had of playing whatever, a samurai game. I want to play Ghost of Yotei now. He might go out and buy a used PS5 and then go buy the new Ghost of Yotei for it. So all in all, this is a good business practice for them to be able to, I would just say, give them access to these older games on the PlayStation, and then that exposes players who've never had exposure to it before, other than watching videos or people talking about it on podcasts, and they're saying, hey, that was pretty awesome. Let me go out and get a PlayStation so I could play the next iteration or whatever.
That might be more important.
You can even go buy a used one on Facebook Marketplace for $200. You know what I mean? Like there's always someone selling something somewhere. Go buy one for a couple $100 on Facebook Marketplace, and you'll be able to buy these new the other games. There you go, done.
Okay,
I mean say they do it and they allow it.
PlayStation probably does want to bring people in, no matter how they can. Like it's really difficult to keep people buying brand new games, but bringing them in the way you said with older games might work. But maybe they will always have a buffer period of 6 months to a year before their games go to PC. Tom Warren said
in the chat right now, he goes, Mag gets it. That's exactly what's gonna. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. And why would you turn away money? Makes no sense to me.
I think he's also saying that you get it because you framed it that PlayStation will have some sort of exclusivity window to like make that we have to stick with the console first. I mean, I think that PlayStation will eventually reduce to nothing the window to PC, but maybe they don't. Maybe they keep a 6 to 12 month window because it keeps that line going up for PS5s and 6s.
Don't get it confused. I will tell you right now, there is no day and date with PC and PlayStation 5 Pro or PlayStation 6. It is not happening. It is never going to happen. There will always be a delay. There will always be a delay. I'm telling you that now. If I'm wrong, I'll eat
we have a gentleman's bet.
Pants live in the air.
Yeah, we have a gentleman's bet on this because once PlayStation brings a actual first-party single-player home studio game to PC day and date, then I win the bet. But you've got a pretty solid bet there.
Outside of live service.
Yeah, because
outside of live service, we discussed
the majority of their games are going to PC day and date because they're live service. So you've got a really solid bet there on your half, where you say they'll never go day and date.
Like what was the one that just came out? Helldivers 2. When Helldivers 3 drops, which it's already being worked on, when Helldivers 3 drops, that's going to be PC day and date.
Absolutely.
So the cool thing is, actually, I just thought of something pretty cool, Colt. Think about this. In its own way, if indeed this happens, okay, guys, that we're down Speculation Avenue now, driving 140 miles an hour.
Kilometers.
If indeed kilometers, well, kilometers, and I'm driving 185, which I do. Anyways, the thing is that if, for example, this whole Xbox Steam thing happened, this is wild theory, and you were able to access those games on your Xbox, that means in a roundabout way, Helldivers 3 could actually launch day and date with PC, PlayStation, and Xbox on the same day. If you had a new system.
Yeah, if it played those Steam games. So, yeah.
If they did that.
And you know what Arrowhead thinks of that? Arrowhead would be like,
whoa.
Yes.
Dude, that would be wild. So in a roundabout way, you literally just made it completely multi-platform.
NC in the chat says goalposts keep moving. I'm going to assume he doesn't mean that we're championing that Xbox gamers have some sort of access to PlayStation games, Because if he meant that, it would be total fanboy nonsense. That I don't believe he's that one-dimensional, because if you're a PlayStation fan, you want tons of people playing your games. You don't want tons of people buying the console to say, we win, we sold the most. You want your games just banging off of the launch pad, like huge game releases and tons of people playing.
Games everywhere. I want successful games everywhere. And the reason why is because a healthy ecosystem, and I mean ecosystem, I mean the video game ecosystem, not Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo or PC. I mean ecosystem as a whole. A healthy ecosystem means we're going to continue to get fantastic games until I'm too old to play them. And that's always been my fear. You know, I have this irrational fear that comes around once in a while. I might be out like mowing the lawn or something. I'm just sitting there thinking to myself as I'm doing whatever. And I just am lost in my own thoughts. And I'm like, oh God, I got to get coffee. I got to buy new coffee cups for work. And then all of a sudden I'm like, what if I don't get AAA action adventure games anymore because they're not profitable or something? I'm like, what the hell am I going to play till I retire? And all of a sudden I have like these weird fears. And like it keeps me up at night sometimes. I get worried. I'm like, I want to play new Tomb Raiders. I want to play new Resident Evil. I don't want these games to go away. I don't want to play AA games because it's more profitable. I want to play the bigger ones. And so like when the ecosystem is healthy across the board, only people that win are us. Okay,
Helldivers would not have been a massive success if it wasn't for Steam. They had 60+%.
Because they had a fantastic game.
Yeah,
they had a great game. It launched on PlayStation and Steam, and it did very well on both. More on Steam, though. The Steam really helped carried it because it seemed like more like a PC style game anyway, and it did incredibly well. And that's it. But imagine, like I said, this is all just speculation, but imagine they did allow that access in there, and in a roundabout way, they would find a way that you'd be able to play this on this new one. But if you have a series console, you won't be able to do that. You'd have to have this new one that has that Steam integration, assuming this even happens. Like I said, this is wild speculation. I just like to preface what I just said there. Well, I should have prefaced before I said it, but it's just wild speculation. But it's kind of fun just to have like a discussion. You know what I mean? That's like when you're sitting around having a couple beers going, dude, what if like there were aliens living here wearing skin suits? You know what I mean? Like just fun stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, to have fun with your friends.
It's hard to mow the lawn when you have these thoughts in your head all the time.
Yeah, just having some fun. Just having some fun.
And Meg's being super facetious, but he's being super facetious about, I worry about this stuff. But yeah, we don't want a world where single players games are just not, they're too risky. Then they're not going to do them. We don't want that world.
No, I don't want to go back to keep playing games that I played 10 years ago because they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get worried. By the way, I wasn't kidding. That does keep me up at night. I get nervous about that because I'm like, this is my hobby, man.
Yeah, same.
This is my hobby. Same. I can't drink and smoke cigars every day. I got to do something. I got to give my liver and everything else a break.
Oh, I talked to a friend of mine I've known for 20 years, and he was like, "How's the YouTube thing going?" I'm like, "Oh, it's good. It's fun." You know. He's like, you've been going places? I'm like, yeah, you know, they flew me to try the new Doom. It was pretty cool. And he goes, I've yet to find a hobby that didn't just cost me money. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's great. And gaming is one of the, if you're smart, gaming can be one of the least expensive hobbies that you spend tons of time. Like I have friends who golf or hunt, and they spend millions of dollars every 5 minutes. So gaming is the best. It's the absolute best. I want to talk about this Steam thing, because Jez said that GeForce Now, PlayStation was able to block playing PlayStation games on Xbox through GeForce Now, which is so asinine. You're playing through the cloud. You're playing on a PC where PlayStation allowed those games, but because you're accessing it through cloud on an Xbox piece of hardware, either the Xbox API, I wish Kirby Louise was watching, or some other people that are really tech savvy way more than me, but it's either the API or the hardware device. It's either or depending on the situation, because I've heard people say that the hardware device, like PlayStation can look at that through GeForce Now and see the hardware device is an Xbox and say, nope, you can't access it. And how ridiculously petty is it that I can't play Spider-Man 2 on GeForce Now stream, a game I have to buy from PlayStation or Steam. Like PlayStation gets 70% of that purchase because I bought it from PlayStation and Steam. And they're like, you can't play that because we don't like the Xbox logo. That's ridiculous. And I'm here to tell you, to the best of my knowledge, from everything that I've unearthed today, and the people that corrected me, and the people who work in software and hardware development, some people that work places that I can't even mention because it's too important, because then someone might write an article about it. People have told me and corrected me that it is illegal at this moment for if this Xbox Universal Dashboard exists, it is illegal for PlayStation to block their games on Steam being played on an Xbox device or an Xbox software-based handheld. And I'll tell you why. Tom Warren of The Verge, Tom Warren is awesome. He said, quote, "There is no Xbox API." And he's referring to, let me get off quote for a minute. I said, can't PlayStation just block the API? Because a friend of mine who's in software development said, Xbox has this API, or they will have this future API. And I don't understand a lot about APIs, but it's their program that you access, and it has the security, and it's just the whole thing, like this package deal that is made to work on hardware and software. The Xbox API that would allow you to play games on Steam, that API has to be in agreement with PlayStation and Steam and other software teams. Like it's not something that they have to look into. He said that PlayStation would be well aware and it would be in agreement with this API, and they could just be petty and say, you cannot play any of our games on that Xbox API. But Tom Warren said there is no Xbox API to PlayStation games on Steam. So there is nothing to block. If Microsoft goes ahead and lists Steam games on the Xbox app on Windows, that will require Steam to be installed on a Windows machine. Sony would need to block Steam as a whole, I'll add the words, on Windows. So Tom Warren is saying that if you are able to access or even look at your games that belong on Steam on an Xbox device in the future, the only way PlayStation could block that is to either do it illegally, which they won't, or they would have to say, we don't want Xbox fans playing our games, so we're blocking Steam on any device. All devices that are running on Windows, they would have to force all of their people that have purchased PlayStation games, people that have purchased Spider-Man 2 or Ghost of Tsushima or whatever on PC, those people would have to be told in the future, we don't want Xbox fans playing our games. So from now on, you need to take your desktop PC and run it on virtual machine on Linux, or just use Linux from now on so you can access our games. Oh, by the way, hopefully the rest of your PC games run on Linux as well. And hopefully you get all the drivers and everything works just fine. Otherwise, you cannot be on Windows because we've decided to block Windows. I'm here to tell you, PlayStation, if Xbox really has a next generation console that is also a Windows PC, you can do TurboTax on it, you can have Excel, you can have Google Docs on it or whatever. PlayStation will not be able to keep you from buying games 6 months or 12 months after, maybe day and date, playing PlayStation 6 games on that Xbox console. I don't think it's possible. Before I give it over to you, Meg.
Why would you? Sorry, go ahead.
Why would you what?
Why would you bother? Why would you turn down money and exposure to your product?
Absolutely.
Like, why would you go? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm not even a staunch supporter of what Microsoft does. I don't like them. I don't like the way they run their business, to be quite honest. Yeah. And I've always been very honest about it. And I know, and I deal with them. Trust me, I deal with them eye to eye. So I know exactly what's going on. But anyway, the point is that why would you turn away? Why would you go through all of this trouble to not make money and expose new customers to your product? It doesn't make any sense. That would be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
Utterly ridiculous. So, I mean, if you look at it from just a logical point of view, it makes absolutely zero sense to even bother going through all of this nonsense to block access to your product. It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, if I was in charge of anything, first of all, we're just, again, speculating because they haven't come out and said anything. Yeah. Right? So I think we're getting all excited about nothing. I mean, it's much ado about nothing, as Shakespeare would have said. But the thing is, at the end of the day, again, we're just, we're talking about it because it's a talk show. That's what we do. We talk about, the topics, right? And so this is one that comes up, and then at the end of the day, they're probably laughing. They're going, dude, we had no intention of blocking it. like I don't know why people are arguing about it online.
I don't know if
that's probably what's going to be the case.
I don't know if we can trust Detective Seeds. Guy's such a great person. I've talked to him for hours. Great person. He hits a lot of he hits bullseyes, dude. He hits some bullseyes, but according to Detective Seeds, he has talked to somebody connected to PlayStation that said they have no intention to block games on a future device that can access them.
If Seed says it, then that's what's happening, because his ties to PlayStation are just as deep as my ties with Microsoft. I mean, in terms of like people I know that work there.
And you can either validate that or completely throw it out the window if you like at that point.
They even send him a PS5 Pro for free. They're like, here you go, buddy. He's got people. If he's saying that they're not blocking it, they're not blocking it.
Yeah,
so
and for people
I trust him infinitely.
Like Cursian in the chat says they will 100% block it one way or the other. I would dial that back and say they may find a way to limit access, but from what it looks like, they cannot legally block.
But if
there would be a regulation problem, and it would be a PR nightmare. I want to talk about reasons why when it comes to PS6s and let's call it the Xbox 5, okay? the next Xbox and the PS, because I think that's what it'd be, the fifth Xbox.
So that's what happened after Rand and Jez get fired. They're gonna have an Xbox 3, 4, and then Xbox 5 podcast. Yes.
Yeah.
Even OG, dude, he's inviting me to an Xbox party because he saw me go online. I guess he saw me go online.
Yeah.
So he invited me to a party. I got a message.
I'm kind of busy right now, bro.
I'm like,
shout out to Steven OG.
We're live in front of he's a great guy. I'm like, dude, we're in front of 730 people live right now. I can't.
755. Hit the like button and let's get us up to 500. Like, we really appreciate you guys being here, and we're sweating bullets trying to explain all this to the best of our knowledge. It's based off of a lot of speculation, but some of this Steam and Xbox thing is rooted in people who kind of know where the direction is going. So I wouldn't be so shocked if it comes true. I want to talk about the reasons why they wouldn't block besides legality or regulation problems. And in the future with the next Xbox console, what if the next Xbox console only sells 5 million units? It just stalls out. No one's interested in buying a console PC hybrid, or no one's interested in Xbox whatsoever. Well, some PlayStation diehards will probably tell you that's probably the case. The other reality is that maybe this next Xbox PC console is like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I can have console and PC library all in one place, and I have the flexibility to do whatever I want, and I can play PlayStation games once they launch there on PC. It has the potential. This Xbox console has the potential of being really, really successful in its own right, tied to an Xbox brand. I said in the past, maybe they've only sold 30 million, maybe in 5 years, they only sell 15 million because of diminishing returns of people excited about the brand, because they're like, you don't need one. And Xbox says themselves, you don't need a console. This is gold stuff we're talking about right now. The Xbox console could do really well because it offers something that they've never offered before. And PlayStation could say, you know what? The PS6 is going to sell like a mother F. It's going to sell so many. And PlayStation may sit back and say, so they sold 10, 15 million consoles. No big deal. Guess what? We're still making bank off of these Xbox fans who are waiting to play our games through PC, as well as the PC people and all the PlayStation people. Meg, I would posture to you that PlayStation may look at this and go, the Xbox plastic is no longer a threat to us at all. It has now only been they position themselves as a customer to us. PlayStation can say Xbox now belongs to us. Now their fans can buy half of our games, and they will. And they may just say, let them buy them on Steam. We're letting PC guys buy them when they come later. Let them go, have at it. No skin off our back. Look at our trajectory of sales for PS6. It's still going up, just the same in that 45-degree angle on the chart. Why should we worry? We don't need to block it. We couldn't anyway. What do you think about that?
It's very interesting. I was thinking while you were talking, I just thought of something. It was kind of an epiphany of sorts, and I'm like, how cool is this? In its own way, you can look at, let's just say that the trajectory of this next Xbox happens exactly as we see it, right? With actual full Steam integration, access to PlayStation games, whatever else, right? So now, if you actually look at the next generation of consoles, you can have a PlayStation 6 and play all your PlayStation games, first party, third party, and Xbox games on one box. And then on the
that's
Xbox,
right.
Hold on. And then, so you got that. And then on the Xbox,
that's beautiful.
You can play your first party, third party, and a curated or older list of PlayStation games that are all coming out of it, and then you will get all of them eventually over time.
And all the PC games.
And all the PC games.
Jeez.
So now you have two third-party machines, essentially, or multi-platform machines, The only thing is that you're not getting the day and date on the PlayStation, but you will still get them eventually on the Xbox. You'll get them later on as they come out on PC. But how funny is that essentially next generation, we're going to have 2 multi-platform machines available for purchase. That is pretty wild. So now what they've done is that when you say the console war is over, you know what, whatever. I never even but you may have just ignited a new one in a way.
Like, what is the new war?
No, I'm saying you've ignited like a new competition because now you've got 2 multi-platform machines. The only edge is that the PS6 will have the PS6 games launch day and date.
And then the Xbox one will have all the PC games.
You would have to wait a little bit.
But it will also have the PC games.
Right, so you get the PC games. The only caveat is you'd have to wait for the PS6 games to drop once they drop on PC.
Yeah.
But so other than that, you've got the PC games on one side, but then the PS6 games on the other side. So essentially, it kind of still balances itself out. Now, when it comes down to popularity, obviously PlayStation is, leaps and bounds more popular than Xbox in terms of the branding, global branding and whatever else, and it'll always be the dominant force. But how cool is that you now have a choice where you don't have to be like, well, I don't know what to buy now or this and that. Like, you know what I mean? Or my only choice is to buy this or only choice is to buy that. You now have a pretty interesting little dynamic working out. And I think that's a lot of fun. I think that's pretty fun. Don't you think? Isn't that kind of cool? Like, now you're like, holy crap.
You say it's kind of fun. I agree because the console war was fun in its own way, but it was fun. It was such a backwards way. And I've been there for years. But now I look in the future where I know PlayStation is becoming more third party. They've said in their business discussions and publicly that they're going more third party, and they are, just not the way Xbox is. And we talked about the astroturfing thing a couple weeks ago, how people are like, people like Colt and Parrish, they changed the narrative according to where PlayStation or Xbox is telling them. It's like, well, that's the way the industry's moving. Like, you can talk about it or you can fight against it. And I've chosen to talk about it. And I think about the future where someone's going to play Forza Horizon 5 or someone's going to play, let's say Forza Horizon 6. I think of the future where there are way more people playing that game and there's way bigger and better DLC because the game is much bigger than it could ever be. And let's face it, some of your favorite franchises just, they can't live anymore. From other reasons, you brought up Uncharted. Like, Naughty Dog doesn't feel like they can do another Uncharted. Maybe there aren't enough people excited, but if there were more people playing, they could take that risk. Let me talk about this hardware developer that works with a very prominent hardware platform that plays games. Said those games, this is a quote from them, those games should still work on any future Windows or Steam OS. This is someone who's followed me for years, and I don't want to out them. They don't even say on their social media handle where they work. Okay. This quote is, those games should still work in any future Windows or Steam OS device. To blacklist a specific CPU or GPU would be very anti-consumer, anti-competitive, and would draw the attention of the FTC. I think it's a contractual question. Those game licenses were resold by Valve, when he's talking about Steam. Sony got paid. Customers agreed to the EULA. Can Sony retroactively alter that EULA for games they've already sold and Valve resold? This is interesting, pause on his quote, because we don't think about it that way. We think about when Helldivers 2 has been sitting on there for 8 months or a year on Steam. We think about PlayStation's like, hey, come buy our game. Like, they've got up a wooden, vendor's booth. Like, hey, come buy our game. Thank you very much. They sold it to Steam, and Steam kicks back that 70% to them. I never thought of it that way. He said, can Sony retroactively alter that after they sold the games to Steam? How would Valve feel about that? How do gamers feel about that? I think it would be a really bad thing to do, and I don't think they can legally do it anyway. Another software developer that I've talked to that works in the game development said, ask yourself this, how are PlayStation going to know that the games are on an Xbox device? Stop with this quote because Xbox is everywhere. This is an Xbox. So if I have a desktop PC and I load up the Xbox app and I can access a PlayStation game, how is PlayStation ever going to know? They can't look at my hardware ID, my Ryzen CPU or my GPU or my motherboard that's a gigabyte motherboard. They can't look at that and see it's an Xbox. And according to Tom Warren, this isn't an Xbox API, so PlayStation can't look at the software that's loading up and saying, oops, that's an Xbox. Nope. They couldn't do it anyway because they can't block Steam games, like this hardware developer just said, and Tom said, and everyone else is saying. This software developer says, how are they going to know? Every method to differentiate between real Windows PC and virtual Windows environment on Xbox. He says you go through an Xbox Windows, or you go through Windows API, which is Microsoft controlled. You go through a hypervisor, which is Microsoft controlled, or it requires intimate hardware. I don't know what that means, but I pasted it in here so I can say it out loud. The reason why I said my desktop PC, that this Xbox experience will be on an old ROG Ally, the new one, a Steam Deck, a phone, a smart TV. It's all supposed to be universal. There's really no way for PlayStation to go, that's got an Xbox logo somewhere in the load up screen, or like they can't do it. I just don't think they can do it. When I said the title of this podcast is PlayStation Blocks Xbox, they have tried to block Xbox, and they did effectively block them from GeForce Now. Jez Corden says it's the same. These other experts I've talked to just say it is not the same. And that you're right, Mag. The future is 2 third-party console platforms and on PC and everything. One of them isn't as third party as the other, but it's actually a future that is pretty awesome. And you have more access and freedom to your games. And I think it's also going to push more cross progression. When you buy a game, maybe your save moves over, maybe your entitlement and ownership moves over to other devices. But I think it's a really good future. Time. Yeah,
but it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, there are still options out there for everybody. Whether you want to buy 1 or 2, I have a feeling that next generation people are going to have to make a choice. Because the consoles are going to be very expensive. The tech is going to be quite advanced. And not only is it going to be advanced, it's also going to be very expensive because these companies are done losing money. As a result of that, they will give you access in other ways. You'll be able to, access through cloud streaming or whatever else, whether it's Fire Sticks or whether it's ROG Allies. ROG Allies won't be cheap either, by the way.
They're not now.
They're not now. And if you think that those are going to be like an accessible like handheld for next generation, no, they're still going to be like $600-$700, if not more, depending on how much storage you purchase, right? So you look at all those things. So people are going to have to make a choice. However, at least there are choices, right? You have your choice. You know how many messages I get a day of people like terrified that are like, oh my God, PlayStation curb stomp Xbox. Does that mean I'm going to lose everything? And I'm like, no. And I have to keep telling them, I'm like, guys, they're not going to lose anything. Yeah, they got their teeth kicked in, but they're still coming out with another generation. Yeah, in plastic, and they're still going to come out for another generation. They're still going to be doing the games will be accessible. Everything you purchase is not going anywhere. Don't worry about it. The ecosystem will continue to be there, and and for the foreseeable future, I think it'll always be there. I remember I think I talked about it in a tweet just last week. I think you and I were in a thread, and I said, guys, this is a discussion we don't have to worry about for minimum 10 more years. Okay? We can revisit this conversation in 10 years from now. And the reason why is because we still have a couple of years in this generation, and there's already another generation. That gives you another 7 years. I go in 10 years from now, maybe we can have a different discussion. But until then, I don't think anything's going anywhere. And even beyond that, I don't think anything's going anywhere because then everything will be accessible through cloud integration anyway. Right? And
this might be
digital
2 years.
Anyhow.
This might be 2 years off. It might be a holiday or end of the year 2027 unleashing or release moment.
Right, but then you're talking another 7 years beyond that, Colt. Right?
And maybe
before you talk about another iteration.
Yeah, and maybe it's maybe they don't do this this new Xbox experience. Maybe they do it in a year before they, it's like a stepping stone in the next generation. We have no idea. Maybe they don't do it. But Gaming Lifestyle says, thanks for the shout out, fam. Blessings. I appreciate you. Gaming Lifestyle says Xbox gamers don't buy consoles or the games. They do. There's per capita, or however you'd say that. There's half as many Xbox people on console as there are as PlayStation. So the sales are always going to be way lower. I mean, that's just how it is. But I remember Aaron Greenberg explaining their engagement and approach with games was much higher than their competitor on PlayStation. Like per gamer, they bought more games, they played longer, and they had all the telemetry. It was pretty crazy, but it was funny if you look at numbers sold of games, PlayStation's killing it. But according to Aaron Greenberg in 2021, he said that Xbox gamers bought more games per gamer and they played longer than PlayStation fans, which is nuts because PlayStation has access to some of the best games. But I saw Malik in the chat kind of mocking Astrobot for only selling 2 million when there's 87 million consoles, or it was like 67 million or whatever. But I don't know why everybody didn't buy Astrobot, but I'll tell you what, it didn't matter. They made their money back in like 2 days. And that's all that matters.
It was relative to the studio size and the budget of the game, right?
And so all that matters is that
2 million is the equivalent of like 15 million of a big studio, or 20 million of like a AAA studio. So
100%.
It all worked out. Same thing with Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade being one of my favorite games of 2024. They didn't sell 10 million copies or 20 million copies, but they made a ton of cash off of it because their production costs were way lower. Their wages are like 1/8 of what North American or Western devs get paid. And then on top of that, it was a smaller studio, right? So they made a ton of money off of that, and they were already working on a new game with the profits that they made from it, handsome profits they made out of it. But again, it's all relative to the size of the production.
I'm just mad that more people didn't play it, but it's wildly successful. Yeah.
A Halloween reboot that came out in 2018 made $100 million, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's nothing." Because like, if you had Avatar the movie make $100 million, you're losing money because that costs $500 million to make, right? Or $300 to $400 million to make. Halloween 2018 reboot cost like $25 million to make. $100 million is a massive profit on a smaller movie like that, right? So if you think about it in that respect, it's more relative to the size of the production. But either way.
Yeah, I mean, if you were the one foot in the money, that you would really worry about how that
either
ended
way.
up. But Lawrence,
gaming is fun.
Lawrence, gaming is the best. Lawrence, Luke Hustle Rogers, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Has an update, says the doctors are unsure. This is the guy that was telling us that he was sick for like 2 months. Doctors unsure, trying different meds. Thankfully, my brain MRI came back clean, minus a cyst in my sinuses. That sounds fun. Body inflammation all over. I'll get better sometime. Yeah, bro, we would hope the best for you. Thank you so much for being here. And I know that Meg and I are talking crazy. I hope it was worth your time. Boner Jams with 5.
Crazy.
I am.
Well, you might.
You were crazy for a minute there. You were talking about mowing your lawn naked, thinking about what game you're going to play next.
Wow, that's true.
That's a quote. That's an actual quote.
That's a quote.
They say never mow your lawn in like flip flops. Meg is bare, naked. He's just, naked. Letting it all hang out. That's how he sees if the lawn is long enough.
The way you should be mowing your lawn. Yes. Yeah.
With the vibration. Speaking of vibrations, Boner Jams gives a $5 super, says, want to thank Risket for the biscuit for the ointment for my hamstrings. He's bringing Risket into this. Oh, hey, Meg, my brother from a different set of parents. Colt, hugs and kisses. Bro, thank you so much. Do message us about being on the show. We want to go do the show on Wednesday.
Sure.
Make It Simple says, Odyssey, Assassin's Creed had games, straight romances, options, fake outrage, in his opinion. He says,
I played Cassandra and I slept with every woman I could get my hands on.
And a goat. One goat. I'm pretty sure I was in there with some goats.
I didn't sleep with any dudes. I didn't sleep with any dudes in the game. I don't know. I just want all Cassandra just laid waste to the females.
I thought you were going to say Greece. Cassandra laid pipe.
No, she did not do that. It's not 2025 politics, Cole. Cassandra was a woman, period, okay?
She was.
No pun intended.
I mean, and that was funny. It was like you basically say, you want to make out, and then it would just fade to black, and you'd come walk out of a door, and that was it. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat, if anybody's wondering how spicy it gets. Shout out to the Australian 5. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for your support.
Grandpa Barbecue shows up to every one of my streams, man.
That's awesome.
Every one of my streams.
Subscribe to Meg's channel, please.
He has so much fun there. Yes, go on.
Meg, you can't release an episode of the Mag Show while XNC is on. Yeah, that's true.
It's not my fault. I thought it was going to release before the show launched, but for whatever reason, it took forever to render and then send out. And I'm like, you stupid thing. So it launched like halfway through the show, and I'm like, whoops.
I've done that a couple times.
I'm like, listen, man. Yep.
I've released a video right before Xbox Nation would go up. Like it was just finishing. I'm like, they're about to go live. And I'm like trying to get that sucker out there before so people can like watch my 8-minute video.
Yeah, like it was a short one. It's only 5 minutes and like 20 seconds, just giving all the information about the Indiana Jones release and what comes with each edition and this and that. And that's it. And then all of a sudden I'm like looking at it. And so I had it on the third screen that I got here, and I'm like, oh crap, it's still going. And then all of a sudden it launched at like 9:01, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, it was. You mean it was doing the processing on YouTube's side that was taking forever?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was taking forever for whatever reason. Like YouTube was a little bit slow on the take tonight, so it just took a while. So long.
Fun fact: if you have a really short video and it's like taking forever to process, you can cancel it and try re-uploading. Like it'll get hung up. We'll talk about that later. I haven't had to do that in a long time. Captain Chess goes, Ubisoft Plus is only available on Xbox and PC, not PlayStation.
Yes, that is true. We found out the hard way. Mm-hmm. As we know, we found out the hard way as we had to, as I turned on every console I had and was scanning the screens trying to find it.
I just know.
You're right.
I just know the first 20 comments after the show goes up is going to be like, "It's not on PlayStation, you morons." Bit Fernaldi, speaking of a moron that we love, Bit Fernaldi is awesome. Bit Fernaldi says, "Mag, go to your settings and look at subscriptions." Oh my gosh, we're on this. And then my moderator put up several screenshots of Captain Chat saying Ubisoft Plus is not on PlayStation. Ubisoft Plus is not on. Virginity is cool. Virginity is cool. Come on. Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat with the Australian 5. Thank you so much for your support. Says if PlayStation do block their games on Xbox, everyone would be pissed. I'm pissed. That because
it'll be fine.
They would have to have a form of DRM. We know how DRM screws up things. Yeah, I don't think DRM would be used in that situation, but I'm sticking by they're not going to be able to block it. And I'm with Meg. I don't think they're even going to bother. They won't need to.
No, they're not going to bother. This is a big nothing burger. Phylaw95. Thank you very much for the compliment, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, he said Mag is awesome. I was and even Infernal Earth said, he goes, it's a lot of fun on Mag's channel. Yeah, we have a lot of fun there, man.
Yeah,
anyways, they're not going to block squat, man. I'm telling you. No one's turning away money. It doesn't make any sense.
Hey,
if I got a bag of crack and there's a bunch of crackheads down the road and I'd be like, nah, they're fine, and just take my bag of crack and walk home? No, I'm going to give it to them. Well, I mean, not give it to them, but you know what I mean.
That's like when we were kids, they were like, be careful around drinking fountains. Like drug dealers like to sprinkle drugs on the drinking fountain, so when you drink it, you get the drugs.
That's a good idea. We should try that.
And then somebody goes, I repeated that. And somebody goes, why would a drug dealer waste their product on a random person? And I'm like, oh yeah. So now I just lick all the faucets. Lick them.
Yeah. You never know, man. You might get a free hit out of it. Yes, carry on.
I go to all the baseball parks and I lick all the drinking fountains.
Oh man, can you imagine that? Yeah, local man found licking all the fountains. Anyways, carry on.
Make it simple with the $5. What?
Of course I'm being facetious. Jesus.
What?
Yeah, he goes, I hope you're not enjoying a bag of crack, but I assume you're being facetious.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a pretty solid assumption. No, I don't do drugs. I don't even smoke weed.
There are some content creators that do partake in the booger sugar, but not us. We got Make It Simple with a $5 super chat says, I think it would hurt their console sales. They only have 3 first-party exclusives at the moment, Astrobot, Gran Turismo 7, and Demon's Souls. That might be true. I think it's more than 3, but I get the point. Make It Simple says, but let's see what happens. I appreciate you pushing Polygons with the $10 super chat. The nice goldenrod yellow. Thank you so much, Pushing Polygons. I miss talking to you. He says, guys, if the rumored next-gen Steam machine is a thing, he's talking about Steam making a Steam machine. I don't know if that was being talked about for a while. He says, is that more of a threat to Sony and Xbox than anything? As that's one ecosystem everywhere, mobile and PC under the TV. Because a Steam machine, if it was like $800 and it was easy to use and it played all the PC games plus PlayStation's releases, like, would that be a threat to the PS6, Mag?
No, because it's different. I mean, it's similar audiences, but the people that are already there, and they will continue to carry on over to the other side. This is more of an accessibility for people. Like even PC gamers are going to stay on their PC. Yeah. They're not going to be like, I'm going to ditch my $3,000 PC and buy it under the TV box. They're not going to do that. This is basically for new existing Xbox gamers and new gamers that get into the ecosystem, because there's always someone new. There's always going to be another generation of people who discover it and whatever else. So
always a bigger
that's
fish.
Basically what it is. There's always a bigger fish. Qui-Gon Jinn, 1999. Funky Playbox, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that.
Another compliment while I'm not looking.
Another compliment from Funky Playbox. You just said, Mag, love how you keep it real 24/7. Yeah, I try.
Block him. No
Block him immediately.
No more. Say something nice about me, Colt.
Throw him out of the chat.
Colt, you've got decent skin. Thank you. Appreciate that. That was who said that? That was Mazer Tech. Thank you.
That's a compliment you got, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro, no, I appreciate you, Mag, and I don't say it often enough, but
no, you do. Come on,
you are awesome, bro.
No, man, come on.
You put up a lot. You know what? You're gonna lay there and you're gonna take it.
Well,
and on that note,
before, but only I've heard that before, but only in prison. But I mean, anyways, either way, carry on, Cole. Do you have any more super chats?
I mean, there are content creators that spent some time in a lockdown prison, but we are not one of them.
No,
BT Maverick with the member chat says Lost Soul Side is day and date on PC for PlayStation's first party. It's not one of their home studio games, though. He says they have been throwing up asterisks while standing on their shrinking iceberg. Kind of. I mean, that's BT Maverick kind of sides with me, but I think
Lost Souls. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say Lost Souls Aside is actually it's made by Alti-Zero Games, but it's published by PlayStation. So in the end, Alti-Zero Games have a choice whether they decide to launch it on PC or not, day and date. Those are the stipulations they make when they make the contract. On the console side, it's console exclusive. So they can even do when they make these contracts, what they do is they have choices depending on how much of a percentage they take. They say, okay, well, you know what, PlayStation will take a 70% publisher fee and a 30% fee for the studio on the sales of the games or whatever, however they work it out. But if you want to go day and date on PC, guess what? You're taking a 20% cut, and then PlayStation will take an 80% cut as a console exclusive, so that, you know what I mean? So that because you've exposed it to another ecosystem. So they may work out something like that behind the scenes. I'm not saying that those are concrete numbers, but these are the way that they operate. They operate in order for basically like PlayStation will utilize a stop loss. So they're saying, well, if you open up on PC, we're going to lose 500,000 sales because of the PC. Well, we want to make up for that. So we're taking an extra 10% publisher fee, right? So that's how that operates. So now as for Alti-Zero Games and Sony and SIE, that their whatever contract they worked out is entirely up to them. It's kind of like even when Stellar Blade launched on the PlayStation, then it came out to PC later on, but it won't be coming to Xbox or whatever. They just kept it off of there. But they did do a time delay on that so that they probably altered. I will alter the deal. Pray I do not alter it further. You know what I mean? So it all depends on how they work it out before they.
Can you give me like a really obscure hint what that's from?
What do you mean obscure hint? It's friggin' Darth Vader, man, from Empire Strikes Back. When he's talking to Lando, oh, this deal's getting worse all the time. Yeah, and Vader's like, bring the princess and the Wookiee to me. But that was never part of our deal. I am altering the deal. Pray I do not alter it further.
You did it so perfect. Yeah. Oh, it's so great. Yeah.
That was not part of the deal. Yeah,
you kind of sound like Lando when you do that. That's a pretty good Lando impression.
I'm trying.
You're like Colt 45.
Billy D. Williams, man. Long live Billy D. Williams.
Ice cold, my friend. Colt 45.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Make It Simple says GeForce Now does not even have any Sony games on PC. I didn't know that. I thought they just blocked Xbox from accessing it. But I don't even want to get into it because somebody will have to correct us. Graham Man, thank you for the 2, says prepare for another 2-year court battle. I don't think it'll come to that. Game Seeker with a Canadian $10 super chat. My good friend Game Seeker says, Colt, did you visit NetherRealm while in Chicago to be CGI in Mortal Kombat as an unlockable character? Now, I didn't explain the other reason why I went to Chicago, but yes, I am going to. They wanted to have a very effeminate, dorky looking Mortal Kombat character for the next game, and they asked me to get in the golf ball suit, and I was like, take that, you. Finish him.
I already got it now. I can already hear Shao Kahn's voice. Xbox shill wins.
Exclusivity.
Yeah, exclusivity. Xbox shill. You know what your move is? Your move is your nose grows, and you're like the Pinocchio nose, and it stabs him right through the face, and it goes out through the other side, and like the X-ray attacks, and you see like the brain come out of the back, because like you'd be like, Xbox is number 1, and then the nose goes right through.
Xbox is the market leader.
Yeah, Xbox is the market leader. Right through the nose.
Yep.
Xbox
I love that.
Wins.
Game Seeker says fatality. Drowning them in a bucket of Mountain Dew or frying them, electricity coming from your guitar. That would be, I would have to hold a guitar. That'd be awesome. Game Seeker, thank you so much for that chat. Nice little piece of entertainment there. One more. We got 78 Incorporated US Gaming. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. This is their 10th super chat. Appreciate you.
Oh.
They said, if it happens, an Xbox hybrid PC, in my opinion, could possibly catch a lot of attention in the Asian market. PC is really growing in that region. Yes, it is. Consoles are not growing very well over there, but PC is big. And when you say Asian market, that's India, Pakistan, Korea,
sure,
Japan, like everywhere. It's a huge, huge market. Yeah. What a crazy, crazy show. We
Dude,
really
that was a wild show, man.
We really appreciate everybody for being here. I appreciate Mag for having a level-headed discussion on such a crazy topic of the future that we don't really know where we're going in the future, but I'm excited. The games are really good right now.
Yeah,
we've got more than we can play. 2025 is absolutely insane. Xbox will have 10 to 15 games this year, with 3 or 4 of them coming to PlayStation that are like retroactive and stuff. So it's going to be a big talk about Xbox stuff, and we're going to get talking into a showcase in about a month or so. Doom the Dark Ages. Watch out on my channel. On Monday, a week from now, I'm going to have my preview video of my gameplay of Doom the Dark Ages. I cannot wait to talk about that and everything else. Mag, tell everybody where they can find you, whore out your new channel, and we'll get out of here.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. It was a great show tonight. Absolutely wild show. There's one last super chat. I'll get it myself because it's from
Go
Steven
ahead, yeah.
OG, but actually, I'll get it right now. He says, so Colt, I mean, he meant Meg. Why do you think Rockstar is so silent about Grand Theft Auto 6? Don't you think it's time for it to be announced? Yes. You'll be hearing more about it very soon, probably in the next little while. But I know there's rumors that there's a trailer coming out tomorrow. I don't buy those rumors. I haven't heard anything. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I know that the earnings call is in May. I will be on that call. And I know someone else who's going to be on that call as well. We had a discussion about it. But there'll be more in the near future. But for now, I'm keeping it I'm keeping it tight right now until we get absolute proof as to what's going on, when it's coming out, and whatever else. Like I said, I will be on that earnings call, and we will find out from there. But we got another one from Iron Balls who doesn't say anything. He
but
just
it's a
gives
great
$7.99
name.
Australian Iron Balls. He's actually been on my channel as well, quite a bit. And he sends a big #1 sign over there with some balloons and some fun stuff. And I got to tell you, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. And anyways, yes, you can find me on the Mag Show. The links will be in the description. The links are in the live chat now. And come check me out, man. I'm grinding the living hell out of that channel. I launched 2 videos back to back last week. I streamed 3 times. I've already launched a video tonight. I will be streaming another 2 times this week at least, plus another video dropping at the end of the week when more news drops. And either way, we're having a lot of fun doing it, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. You can find me there. You can find me on Twitter as well, obviously, and then you can find me here every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard on XNC. So, anyways, chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. Absolutely love every single one of you.
Thank you so much.
And you know what, man? It doesn't matter who it is or what time it is or whatever. People reach out to me and message me. I absolutely always message them back, and I always spend the time to talk to people. So always, always, always. And that's always the way it's going to be. But either way, have a great night. We'll see you guys all next week, and I'll see you on my channel sometime this week. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yudani Kazadu, a great friend and channel moderator. Put your link in the chat. Also, keep an eye out for the channel. I'll try and get some content this week, and of course, come back to Gaming Weekly News. So thanks, everybody. Hit the like button on the way out, and tell someone you love them, and play some games, and gosh dang it, have some fun, and stop whining. Stop whining. We're out of here.
Stop whining.
Bye, Meg.